battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
So it begins.
Send these foul beasts into the abyss!
Welcome to the Zorpazorp Battle Games in Middle-earth livestream. In this series, we cast our gaze back in time to the roots of our beloved Middle-earth strategy battle game to explore the fortnightly magazine serial Battle Games in Middle-earth. Each episode, we will delve into a single issue, poring over a treasure trove of retro gaming, following in-depth painting guides, terrain tutorials, and some crazy battle reports, all with a modern twist so you guys can enjoy them in your games at home. With each installment, we'll also focus on a release of models that accompanied the magazine, following their journey from painting bench to tabletop, and then at the end of every live stream, they'll be randomly assigned to one of our loyal Patreons to continue their days of gaming abroad, spreading the gospel of Zorpazorp. So, in the immortal words of the magazine itself, let battle commence. Welcome to Zorpazorp Gaming, my name's Lachlan Linton Keane, and it is Quest for the Ringbearer release week. We have just had the new expansion for the Middle-earth strategy battle game go on pre-order almost everywhere around the world now, which means that I am allowed to talk about it, which is exciting. So what we're going to be doing today is having a look at a little small section of it. We're going to be having a faction focus on two of the new legendary legions. Before we dive in, let's have a look at the chat. We have quite a few people joining us. People are eager to check out these two legions, and those legions are the Black Riders and Breaking of the Fellowship. So we're doing something a little bit different today in that we're playing points match games. We've got a 600-point battle report, and that's all we're doing tonight. And I say tonight because we're streaming in the evening for once, Australian time. So sorry I'm a little bit late, guys. Hazel took a little longer to go to bed than normal. So sorry for those of you hoping for me to be here sharp at 11. But yeah, we've got a wicked couple of legions to look at today on the battlefield. Now, the thing that's going to be really interesting is I've had a bit of a peek at the Black Riders Legion, but I haven't really looked at Breaking of the Fellowship, so we're going to be discovering that together. I know it's exactly 600 points at maxed out, so I just built a Riders list to match, so it's going to be very, very interesting, and it's a great matchup too, right? The Ring Wraiths versus the Fellowship, all hero. I'm going to be tracking a lot of heroic stats tonight. And as always, you guys will be welcome to get involved in the chat and scream out tactical advice or take control of particular heroes. And it's going to be interesting to see that evolve on a matched play format, which will be very cool. The chat is absolutely going off. I will check in with you guys in a little bit. A huge thank you to Games Workshop, as always, for sending me out, I say as always, but in this particular case, for sending me out some review stock. My physical copy of Quest for the Ringbearer is still in the post due to COVID-19 delays, but they were kind enough to hook me up with a digital copy. I'm not going to go pouring through the entire volume tonight. We're just going to have a look at these two legendary legions, but I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of streams over the next week before your pre-orders arrive in a week's time to give you guys a lot of glimpses at the different legendary legions. We'll look at some narrative scenarios. We might even do some painting tutorials if Angborn and Magblung actually show up in the post. These postage delays are murdering me. So you guys won't actually see any of the images or anything. It's in a PDF file, and there's a difference between sort of, you know, filming me flicking through a book and actually putting screenshots of the Games Workshop proprietary copyright stuff up on the screen. So you'll have to take my word for it for the time being, but I promise you I am looking at it on the screen, and it's gonna be pretty interesting to dive into this stuff. I guess, first up, a little bit of history. I love the Black Riders. They are, absolutely fallen in love with them. I've been painting them up for ages, and I even ran them at a tournament last year, obviously well before this Legion, and they are really, really fun. But this Legion absolutely shakes up the way that I play them. It completely changes my heroic stat configuration, and it changes the way they play so dramatically. It's really going to be interesting, and I love playing as the Fellowship. I've never taken them in a match play setting, but I use them in campaigns and scenarios all the time, and I love running the heroes, so I'm so excited to see what this breaking of the Fellowship theme means. Obviously, straight off the bat, we know that's no Gandalf, so there is lots and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. Let's have a look at the chat. There is 120 of you joining in from around the place. Yeah, wow. We have got a lot of people. Very exciting stuff. Let's see, whereabouts is everyone watching from? Oh, the other thing to sort of talk about before we dive in is we're not going to be doing the normal Battle Games of Middle-earth live stream this week, so there'll be no stream Sunday night / Monday morning. This stream and all the other streams that are going to happen over the next 7 days are taking that slot. I've just got something to do during that time, otherwise I would have done one then. And they're all going to be kind of random times, different time zones to sort of suit as many people as possible, so that you'll get to see some Quest for the Ringbearer action live, no matter where you're watching. So that's going to be very exciting indeed. And of course, we're also going to be doing a Patreon giveaway tied to the Quest for the Ringbearer. So one lucky Patreon is going to score themselves the Mines of Moria terrain set, which is the old classic terrain that was originally released with the 05 starter set, which we actually just used in a massive terrain tutorial a couple of streams ago. So at the end of all of these streams, we're going to give that away to one lucky Patreon. So make sure you pledge to Patreon over the next week to get yourself in the draw to take that bad boy home. And it's selling out all around the world already. So pretty useful little giveaway, which was not intended at all. So everyone's joining us. Keely, Liam, Halamassus, that's a sweet name. Harry Bates says, can't believe Balin's Tomb is already sold out. Yes, it sold out very quickly here in Australia. Yeah, we've got a few people. Green Tree says, lucky to get one pre-ordered, indeed. What do you all yeah, Louis's got a great question. Louis Van Heck joining us again. He says, what are you guys working on while you're watching the stream? Are you painting something up? Is anyone working on Quest for the Ringbearer theme stuff? Killy's working on plastic AMR. Camille's working on the Boromir. Very nice. It's a great model, isn't it? Very nice model. Which is almost Ringbearer themed. I think there'll be an Osgiliath scenario in the book, but of course Boromir won't be there. Aaron says, you won't be able to watch because I'm late. Apologies about that, guys. Douglas, they got no clocks in Australia. None at all, mate. We've got no bloody idea. Right, cool. Lots of people tuning in. Where are you guys watching from? Yes, with some back to serving pints, says Harry. Yes, indeed. A little reference to, we've had a glimpse on Warhammer Community of a couple of the new models that have been coming alongside this scenario. We've of course got Balm and Butterbur and Harry Goatleaf, two profiles out of Bree. So we'll definitely be having a look at them on stream very shortly. They're not on pre-order this weekend though, so we're not going to be able to order them this. I'm not sure when they're coming out. Hopefully it's nice and soon. People watching from we've got Norway, Yorkshire. Blackie's watching from Poland. We've got Vanda says, I'm curious, do you need to hiss at your opponent with the Dark Riders list? Now, there's been a theme of my gameplay over the last couple of years, and that is when I'm playing in match play tournaments, at some point during each game, you will hear me scream death at the top of my lungs because of course, Riders of Theoden and their death special rule. I wonder what sort of screams or wails I'll be making with the special rules of the next Legion. Exciting stuff. Hopefully very cool. Hopefully very cool. Kiara and Voice just got their Fellowship models. Ilya's watching from Russia. Fantastic. Don't get many Russians tuning in. We've got Reagan says the stuff goes on pre-order in the US at noon EST. Yes, some of our American viewers might not actually be able to order the stuff yet. Otherwise, it will be coming out very, very soon. And Eric from Friedrichsburg in VA is tuning in as well. All right, I'm not going to go through the whole chat because we all know what you're here for. Let's dive into the Legions. Like I said before, for any of you who just joined us, you're going to have to stare at my face because I only have my PDF. I don't have my full version, my physical copy, still in the post. So let's start off with the breaking of the Fellowship. So let's just go through the Legion, and then I'll take you through the list. With this particular example, it's exactly the same. Let's have a listen to the fluff. The Forest of Lothlorien lies to the east of the Misty Mountains, nestled the Forest of Lothlorien, interesting start, in the vales of the Anduin, and is home to the Galadrim elves, the Lord Celeborn and Galadriel, Lady of Light. Ever since the coming of Galadriel, she has kept the Golden Wood a safe haven from all manner of evil things that may try to invade its borders. It is here that the Fellowship came for refuge following their ordeals in Moria, for the loss of Gandalf in the chasms of the fallen Dwarven Kingdom had left the Fellowship devoid of direction and in need of guidance in their quest. Upon reaching the borders of Lorien, the Fellowship is halted by Heldir, who has been convinced by Aragorn to take them to Caris Galadon and before the Lady Galadriel. She gives them some gifts. It's cool stuff. They set off. We get it. It's breaking the Fellowship post Lothlorien. Now I wonder why they're talking so much about Lothlorien. Let's find out. Army composition is Aragorn Strider, 160 points flat. No bow, no armor. Very interesting. No armor. What's that? Is that defense 4 Aragorn? He gets heavy armor, he goes to D6. No, there might be defense 5 Aragorn. I'll have to look in the book. Frodo Baggins with Mithril Coat and Sting. Samwise Gamgee. Meriadoc Brandybuck. Peregrine Took. Legolas Greenleaf. Gimli Son of Gloin. And Boromir with the option to purchase a shield. Interestingly, none of them have elven cloaks. Never mind. Additional rules. First one, or second or third, is all models in this force gain an elven cloak for free. So very cool. That's our first big boon for this this particular legion. The first one, though, is a breaking of the Fellowship force must always include Aragorn Strider, who is always the army's leader. Makes sense. And they're always deployed as a single warband, Aragorn being treated as the warband captain. So they get elven cloaks for free, Aragorn's the leader, they're all in one warband. Simple stuff. Obviously, no Gandalf because this is the breaking of the Fellowship. And now we get into the spicy stuff. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything from the chat. Yeah, D5. So no bow. No bow, because this is the breaking of the Fellowship, and he didn't use his bow during those scenes. Potentially, he may not have even had it on his back when you think about it. So D5, no bow. The first special rule, Galadriel's gifts. Upon leaving Lothlorien, the Fellowship are presented with a series of gifts to aid them in their quest. Each member of the Fellowship will gain the item listed below, which will have the effects detailed. Okay, so basically, it looks like the guys have put together a rule for each hero to represent the gift they got from Lothlorien. So Frodo, the Light of Aerendil. Each turn, Frodo may use a single free will point to attempt to cast the Blinding Light magical power. This is cast on a 3+ and cannot be channeled, and he can't use it if he's wearing the ring. Okay, so that gives the Fellowship Blinding Light, and obviously it's not automatic, it can't be cast on exhaustion, and it's not every turn, because Frodo could, not roll that 3+. So that's very cool. That's going to help them against shooting. So Sam's gift is Elven Rope. He always counts as rolling a 6 for any climb, jump, or leap test. Very themey. I like that. Merry and Pippin. Daggers of the Noldorin. Merry and Pippin may re-roll any failed wound rolls. That's sick. In combat. Only in combat. So it doesn't count for their stones, which makes sense. That could actually be quite good for them, because they've already got built into their profiles that synergy with using Boromir's Might. It's been so long since I played the Fellowship. I really need to make sure I check their main rules as well. Aragorn has an Elven Dagger. It's obviously the dagger he got from Celeborn. This is an Elven-made dagger with the Uruk-hai Bane special rule. Very cool. So Uruk-hai Bane, I think that gives you +1 to wound. Bane. Or is it? Oh, no. It's D3 wounds. It's D3 wounds. Well, like Orc Bane on Orcrist is D3 wounds. So yeah, that's pretty spicy. So if he elects to strike with the dagger, obviously it's not Anduril. Although he doesn't have that, of course, because they're going movie versions. So he's just not using his sword. Bow of the Galadrim for Legolas. Whilst within 3 inches of a friendly model, Legolas may re-roll any failed hit rolls when shooting. Because he's not good enough. So this is the Bow of the Galadrim. So while he's within 3 inches of a friendly model, so you have to keep him there. This is clever when you think about it. You can't just sit Legolas up the back. He's got to be with the 3 hunters, or within someone else in the company. I really like that. That balances it nicely. Gimli, the Hares from Galadriel. Gimli may re-roll all dice in a duel roll, but he may only use this ability 3 times in a game. So it's like a super banner for just his dice, within every 3 times. So he can, like, spending 1 hair of Galadriel. That is insane. I like that. Boromir has the Golden Belt, which gets him the Woodland Creature special rule. Okay, so that's, I mean, it's situationally useful. I was probably hoping for something a little bit more exciting for Boromir, but that's still pretty good. That is some insane special rules. Some insane special rules. Yeah, wow. Oh, Liam says, yeah, technically I played them last week, but they were all the old profiles, right? The retro profiles last week. They didn't have all the fancy new special rules. That sounds super cool. Super cool. Okay, let's keep reading, because that's not the only special rule. Then we've got the Blessing of Galadriel. Oh, you're kidding. This is huge. Friendly models always count as having had the Fortify Spirit magical power cast upon them. This is always in effect, even if their will points have been reduced to 0. Well, this is going to be tough for the ring race. I didn't know that when I decided on this matchup. So Fortify Spirit, I believe, is when you get magical powers cast on you, you get to resist on it. I think it's an extra 2 dice. That's insane. It basically makes this pretty immune to magic. Wow, this could be a very boring battle report. The ring race is going to have to work hard here. The Bond of the Fellowship. Models from this legendary legion count as in range of a banner if there is another model within 3 inches. Okay, so we have banners in the Fellowship now, right? You can't get Bill the Pony in this list, so he's not a banner for the hobbits, but it's balanced out here. As long as you operate your formations together, you can split them up. As long as there's a couple together within 3 inches, they're getting banners. They're getting banners. That's insane. And then you have my sword. As long as Frodo is alive and on the table, all models from this legendary legion gain the Fearless special rule. Additionally, this force will never be considered broken whilst Frodo is alive and on the table. This is the worst matchup for the ring rates at, like, I was thinking about, you know, using, we'll get to the wraiths in a sec, but, you know, sapping all of the heroes' courage, but of course, they're fearless. So that rule is basically the same as the normal Fellowship list. That's nuts. Okay, so let's recap. Just like the normal Fellowship, we've got fearless, we've got, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, I'll swing into the chat in a sec. We've got fearless and not breaking while Frodo's alive, so the ring race is going to have to target Frodo quick smart. Then we've got banners. Banners everywhere, as long as there's people, you know, you're within 3 inches of friendly model. They're super resistant to magic. Awesome. And then they've got all their little custom special rules. That's nuts. Nuts, 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 nuts. Okay. Far out. I'm going to come into the chat and we're going to have a little talk about that. What do you guys think? Do you think it's competitive? Because obviously all hero legions are quite tough to be competitive. I think that's pretty good. I think that's... Yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess that losing Gandalf, I was worried about their magic susceptibility, but that Fortify Spirit is nuts. They're quite slow, but they've got Aragorn's heroic marches just built in. Yeah, that's really nuts. Alright, let's have a look at what you guys think in the chat. Yes, James says that's the normal fellowship rule. Yes, it is. Legit, the wraiths are boned. Yeah, that's nuts. Worst matchup in the game with the ring wraiths and no Gandalf. Imagine if he was in. Yeah, indeed. Just kill Frodo. No one's had trouble with that in the past. Yeah, Ned's right. A tactic for the ring wraiths is going to have to be probably just throwing black darts at Frodo if they can't get in combat with him. Yeah, we'll have to look up Fortify Spirit. I don't know if it's each time you resist or if it's once per turn. In fact, let's work that out now because it's going to be super relevant. Oh, sick. You guys just all got to see me in my pajamas. Wasn't intending on leaving the chair in this angle. All right, so let's grab Fortify Spirit now. Kenny says those are some white legs, boss. Yeah. All right, Fortify Spirit. So this power may target one friendly model in range. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The target rolls 2 extra dice when making resist tests. Yep. That's screwed. The ring wraiths are screwed. That is insane. It does. Peter Holden says it seems like a lot of special rules, but it's an all-hero list. It's harder to get up to an exact points limit, and they're on foot, so I think it balances out. Yeah, Peter. I think basically there's something here in the designer's notes from Jay. Where's my tab? It says. This is an unusual legendary legion, as it essentially has a maximum of 600 points. It allows the Fellowship players to use the Fellowship... I can read. It allows players to use the Fellowship with added rules for the gifts they receive, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so essentially it's all about that 600 point mark. That's probably when you run this. You could do some fun stuff with smaller things, but you know, I think this is built for 600 points. Infantry only is important, definitely. Yeah, no cav. The ring wraiths are going to have knockdown if they win fights, so that's going to be pretty important. Does the Frodo blinding light roll happen in the move phase? If it does, you might be able to shoot Frodo off the table on a turn if he fails it. That's very true, but of course they do have elven cloaks, so they'll be able to use terrain a bit to keep themselves safe. And also, it's just a normal magical power, right? So he gains the ability to cast blinding light on a 3-up with 1 free will per turn. Now, let's double check the wording, because is it that he gains the ability to cast... Okay, so he may use a single free will point to attempt to cast the blinding light magical power, so he can't use his normal will to make sure it goes off. That's good, that's good. That would have probably made it too strong. Let's check back in the chat. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Jonas says, did I sum up the Uruk Scout list already? No, we're just looking at 2 legions tonight. We're just looking at the Ring Wraiths and Breaking of the Fellowship. We'll look at the other stuff on a future stream. Do not worry. And I'll also probably upload a full review video if my physical copy arrives nice and soon. So that's the Fellowship. That's looking pretty meaty. Let's see what the Ring Wraiths get in return. Right now, I'm a bit panicked because the Ring Wraiths, yeah. Well, they're all magic. Yeah, alright, let's have a listen. The Black Riders. The Dark Lord Sauron created a series of rings containing enough power to govern the free peoples of Middle-earth. 9 of these were given to the kings of men as a gift so that they could rule justly over their people. However, they were deceived. Sauron had forged in secret a master ring to control all others, and soon, once the great kings of men fell to the power of the rings they had taken, etc. Some stuff happens. The Black Riders are the deadliest and most devoted servants of the Dark Lord Sauron, bound to his will for all time. Cloaked in black robes and seeming to possess no physical form, the Ringwraiths are a terrifying foe that will relentlessly track the Ringbearer to return the ring to their master. The shriek of the Ringwraiths is a chilling sound unlike any other, able to invoke an untold terror into any who hear it. So the army composition. The Witch King of Angmar on horse. Have to take him on horse. It's got the full normal ability to buy Might, Will, and Fate. Morgul Blade, 5 points. That's it. No crown. No crown of Morgul. That is massive. Now I'm super worried. Now, obviously, the reason that Jay's chosen that is the crown of Morgul special rule. Obviously, most of these rules are based off the movies, right? And I think that crown is intended to represent the crown he dons for the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. Yes, he's obviously always wearing a crown because he's a king, and even in his Twilight form, he has a crown on his brow. But the crown of Morgul, as defined by Games Workshop, is the crown for the Pelennor Fields. Or so they say. So, no Crown of Morgul. So, no 3 attacks and no casting reroll. Okay. That's worrying. And then the rest of our army composition is Ringwraith on horse. Just generic Ringwraiths. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think they should have had the Witch King, Kumul the Easterling, and the Ringwraiths on horse. Because Kumul is technically the only other named Ringwraith that Tolkien named and said that he was in the that he was there, you know, and placed him. Kumul the Easterling is actually the Easterling that runs down the Buckleberry Ferry and almost catches them in that moment as the hobbits leave on. And as they pull away and see a Ringwraith standing on the dock, that's Kumul the Easterling. However, now I think about it, that information might only be available in unfinished tales. It might not be in the main appendices, which means the Games Workshop don't have the license to use it, so they probably can't really include him based on that reasoning. But I don't know, I would have liked to see not just generic wraiths include Khamûl, but also generic wraiths are friggin' awesome, so theme. I wouldn't want to see all the named wraiths, that would have been terrible. We want normal wraiths here, I just would have liked Khamûl. If they can license that, but maybe they can't. So, it's starting out bad. Let's see how it goes. Additional rules. The Black Rider's force must always include the Witch King of Angmar. He's a hero of legend, so he gets that auto-pass courage thing. And he's the army's leader. You can only include a maximum of 9 models. Yeah. Okay, special rules. Terror in the night. The sight of the Black Riders is enough to chill even the bravest hearts. Even more so the more of them that are nearby. A model in range of between 4 and 6 models from this force, with the Harbinger of Evil special rule, suffer an additional -1 to their courage value. A model in range of between 7 and 9 models from this force, with the Harbinger of Evil special rule, suffer an additional -2 courage to their value. Okay, super wordy. Basically, Harbinger of Evil stacks to a point. If you have a model that's in range of 1 Ringwraith, you get -1 to your courage. If you have a model that's in range of 4 to 6 Ringwraiths, you get -2 to your courage. If you have a model in range of 7 to 9, -3 to your courage. Obviously, you're going to operate with these guys in a big bubble, so that is huge. Most troops are going to go down to courage 1, and combined with the Drain Courage special rule, you could get heroes down to courage 1 easy, which means, of course, this whole army has terror. I love this. I love this so much. This is going to give you such control of, like, stopping the majority of people charging you. So, if say you reduce courage 1, that means you need to roll 9 on 2 dice, which I think that's like... So to get that result, you need to roll at least 4 on 1 dice and at least 5 on another dice. So that's 50%, and then of that time, 33%. So I think, yeah, roughly like 18% of the time you're going to pass that courage test. So 4 out of 5 dice rolls for courage tests you're going to fail. That's pretty insane if you can reduce your enemy to courage 1. Obviously, heroes will have will points that they could spend, but they only last so long. So that's good. Obviously... it's not going to be good in our matchup because while Frodo's alive, so killing Frodo is just going to be so important. Screech of the Nazgul. The piercing shriek of the Nazgul is unlike anything else in Middle-earth. Even the bravest can be stopped in their tracks. Each Nazgul can, once per game, cast the channeled version of the Transfix magical power without declaring a heroic channeling. Very cool, so you can surprise cast it. This magical power is automatically cast, counting the result as a 6, and no will points are expended. Target models can resist as normal, and make sure you write down which Nazgul does it. So every single Nazgul in the list gets a free channeled transfix, was it? Yeah, channeled transfix that you don't have to declare channeling for, so you can surprise do it. It auto-casts as a 6, and it doesn't even cost will. That's awesome! I like that. I love, like, once per game effects. I also like that it's not bound to happen, like, one turn, all of them do it. I like that you gotta keep track of it and each Ringwraith can do it. That's really flexible and very powerful. I like that. That's gonna be useful against the Fellowship. Yes, they're gonna be able to resist, but the auto-cast on a 6 is huge. Okay. One more special rule. Just the one. One more. This is gonna need to be good. Friendly Ringwraith models, it's called the Will of Sauron. We know where this is going. Friendly Ringwraith models do not lose a will point for being in combat as per their Will of Evil special rule. This is huge. Huge. And it is totally going to shake up the way I play Ringwraiths. When I run the 9, I barely take any fate points. I might take some fate on the Witch King because he's my leader, and I might take 1 fate on some of the wraiths. But most of the time, you don't really want your wraiths ever taking wounds. You don't want them to be in a position where they're needing to use their fate. You've got to play them such that your opponent's not really having a chance to attempt to try and kill them. So fate points become less important than, for instance, say might points and probably will points. So you end up taking more will to get those spells off. But if you don't lose will for fighting in combat, so that means you're going to be way more aggressive with these guys, throwing them into combat, and it also means all of your will is magical powers. So I'm going to be taking full fate on all of these wraiths now, because I'm going to be way more aggressive with them and throwing them into combat. Combining that with, like, you know, them having terror and the enemy's courage being annihilated by the new stacking Harbinger of Evil, that's going to really suit that aggressive playstyle. It's going to make it way more interesting as well, because it won't be as kitey. Yeah, I really like that. But the rule is not over. Additionally, at the start of the fight phase, a single Ringwraith model may declare a heroic combat without spending might. If they do so, they must move into combat with an enemy model that has the one ring. If they cannot move into combat with the model that has the ring, the heroics immediately cancelled and it doesn't happen, basically. So, if you're in range of the Ringbearer at the start of your at the fight phase, and if you won the combat, you would have like a clear path to get to him, you can call a heroic combat for free. Very cool, very themey. Not going to happen all that much. Oh my god, it's going to happen in this game though. Frodo's got the bloody ring. So at the start of every fight phase, if any of my wraiths are in range of Frodo, who is the Ringbearer, they're going to be able to call a free heroic combat. That's going to be awesome in this game. That's really great, because we're actually going to get to show off all of the rules. So, let's jump back to the chat. Let's jump back to the chat. So, what do we think, guys? I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I love how it's going to change me to be way more aggressive. I love that it's, you know, the will point's gone. All my will's going to be magic. I'm going to take more fate points now. I like the stacking of terror with the blah, 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 the Harbinger of Evil stack. And the auto-cast channel transfix. That is baller. I love that so much. So much, so much, so much. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough against this new Fellowship Legendary Legion. This is still a tough matchup for them, no bones about it. Their goal has to be to kill Frodo quickly, to get rid of the Fearless, and then they can start throwing Drain Courages all over the place. Obviously, Legolas is going to be a problem, shooting out their horses, probably. It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a tight game. So 600 points. We're gonna try and keep it to about an hour, so that all of you guys can sort of watch this in a digestible fashion. We've already been talking for half an hour. We're just gonna be playing to the death. We're not gonna get fancy with scenarios. We are gonna play a match play scenario, but we want to showcase just the Legion's abilities in the most neutral state. So to the death is pretty simple, and obviously they're both sort of small, hero-y ones, so we don't really want to be dicking around with objectives. We just want to focus on having a look at their raw killing power, their survivability, and their scoring ability, and what is arguably the most common scenario. You see it at every tournament. Shawnee Rosado says, first turn 9 black darts on Frodo. It's a serious strategy. So, yeah, Glenn says, read the heroic combat part of the rule again. Is it 1 wraith per turn? Yes, I believe so. Friendly Ringwraith models. No, next one. Additionally, at the start of a fight phase, a single Ringwraith model may declare a heroic combat without spending might to go into the Ringbearer. So a single heroic combat. Boom, 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 boom. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw... Daniel says 1 hour, good luck. It has to be 1 hour. It's already bloody midnight and I need to get to sleep. I'm going to throw the camera around to the battle report table. I've already got the models deployed. I'll get some sexy terrain happening there. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to feel free for anyone who wants to take control. If someone wants to be Aragorn, if someone wants to be Boromir, I'm going to have my laptop over there and the chat's on low latency so you guys will be able to talk to me nice and easily. If you're keen to be interactive in this battle report, feel free. The ring wraiths are all going to be like marked up and named, so you'll be able to see which ring wraith is which. And yeah, what tactics do you think we should be going in? Black darting Frodo. We got a hunt for Frodo. I'm so barracking for the Black Riders. So we need some Fellowship tactics. So you guys get mad on that, and I will swing on around. I need to go back to that screen. that screen, and I will get the camera up, and I'll be back in just a sec with what is going to be a pretty spicy battle report. Back real soon, guys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So, this is our board. We're playing to the death. We've got here the 6 ring wraiths, which is 600 points of the Black Riders, and our 8 members of the Breaking of the Fellowship. So, first of all, just let me know if you guys can hear me well. I've got my volume all the way up on my mic because I don't want to be shouting, because Hazel and Larissa are asleep in the room next door. Let me know if you guys can hear that. I've got the chat here, so I'm going to be able to interact with you guys really nicely. The first thing to do, of course, is go through the lists. For our Fellowship, it is very simple. It is just all 8 members of the Breaking of the Fellowship: Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli, Boromir, Merry and Pippin, and Frodo and Sam. But for the Black Riders, obviously there is a list to be decided. So, what I've done is on every single ring wraith, I have taken full might and full fate. The Witch King is full spec with 20 will. K'mul, which is just a normal wraith, but it is using the K'mul the Easterling model here, has 1 additional will, so he's 282, and then the other 4 ring wraiths are all 272. So we've got the might for heroic combats, we've got the might if we want to channel spells, but we're not going to against this list, and we've got the fate. I probably, might have tried to squeeze in a 7th wraith and not taken as much magic on the Witch King, but I don't have 7 ring wraith models painted. Just a quick shout out to Jeremy from the Green Dragon, who I'm pretty sure I saw in the chat earlier. He asks, are these the ring wraiths that he painted for me using my 3-pronged brush? Yes, Jeremy, they are. So the 2 nicely painted ring wraiths are Jeremy's. So thank you for that, Jez. I think you guys can say that you can hear me nicely, so that is good. Scream out if we can't. So, the aim of the game is kill each other. We're basically playing to the death, and we might score victory points at the end, but we just want to test out these profiles. That's our main aim today. So yell out in the chat if you're barracking for a particular team. Let me know your tactics. I'll scroll back up in just a little bit, and we'll have a little look. And then we've got some stuff to cover. So let's quickly go through those Legion rules once more so we're all across them because they're very new. The Fellowship models, when they're in range of ring wraiths, they always lose 1 courage. When they're in range of 4 to 6 wraiths, they'll lose 2 courage. And when they're in range of 7, which is never going to happen, they would lose 3. The ring wraiths will also not lose any will for fighting combats. And what the hell was the third one? Oh yeah, they get a crazy channel transfix. So once per game, they can cast a channel transfix without declaring heroic channeling, so the Fellowship won't know it's coming. Autocast for free on a 6. That's massive. Now, let's look at our normal Fellowship profiles. Aragorn, he's got a free might per turn. Legolas and Gimli have some cool rules. We need to keep score of their kills, but they're not going to be making many kills, hopefully. We've got Boromir, he's got the Horn of Gondor that he can blow. Sam gets free heroic combats when Frodo's in combat. Merry and Pippin can use Boromir's might points. So there's some pretty interesting synergies normally. And then on top of that, let's see if I can remember them without going over to the desk. Boromir has got Woodland Creature. Legolas re-rolls hits when he's within 3 inches of another model. Aragorn gets Uruk-hai Bane on his dagger, which means nothing in this scenario. Gimli, 3 times per game, he can spend one of Galadriel's hairs to re-roll any or all of his dual roll dice, a super banner basically. I'm looking at the table and I'm wondering why there's 2 Boromirs. Whoops. Then we've got Merry and Pippin. They've got Daggers of the Noldorin, so they re-roll wounds in combat. We've got Sam, who rolls a 6 anytime he makes a climbing, leap, or jumping test. And then we've got Frodo, who can cast Blinding Light. And they've all got Elven Cloaks for free. If any of them are within 3 inches of another one, they all count as being in range of a banner. And they're fearless, and they do not break while Frodo's on the table. I cannot believe I just remembered all of those rules without going back to the book. Fantastic. Okay, Craigie Cameron has claimed Gimli. Liam's clean for Boromir and Doromir. And lots of people are keen. Alright, so James Palmer's keen for Leggy. Boromir can catch 3 arrows for 3 in this scenario. Sean is very excited by my voice. Good. KS is sad about the hedges. Yes, I know that he claimed that earlier. I'm sorry, there's no hedges. I tell you what, we'll put a hedge on the field. I can't get them. They're buried under boxes. Might be a cool way to keep track of them. Carefully paint the names on the rim of the base. Yeah, I'd definitely be doing that for the ring wraiths, using the generic models but naming them up. I don't know about the Fantasy Fellowships, Peter Holden. I haven't read that part of the book yet. That I will go through all of that later on. Reagan says he wants to run the Witch King for the time being. Alright, cool. So, what are our tactics here? Well, obviously the ring wraiths need to get rid of Frodo so they can start using their courage, but I think let's just get some dice rolling and we'll see how we go. We should use a more evil dice for the ring wraiths. There we go. And priority has gone to the Fellowship. Now, the Fellowship, they can probably just let the wraiths come to them. They can set up. I'm going to whiz round and we'll get on over there. So, we probably need to use the terrain to our formation here, because obviously we're fighting against cavalry, so we could probably neuter their cavalry charges by falling right back into the terrain. It's pretty bloody boring though. We might be able to use this barricade here. For the time being, Leggy's going to sit still. Gimli and Aragorn will come in here. Boromir's going to hold this gap. And we're just going to put the 4 hobbits together for the time being. They're going to hold that gap. But yeah, Aragorn's got no bow. But we're going to have... The ring wraiths will be here, then they'll be here. There's probably not enough time to move everyone into the woods, and it'll be a bit of a dull game anyway. We want to be moving forward. So yeah, let's hit the shooting. Let's hit the shooting. That way we'll see a bit more of the abilities, I think. Leggy can move and shoot on a 4+ with a reroll is interesting. So, I guess we've got options, right? Legolas is re-rolling his hits. Re-rolling his hits. Should he use the auto hit? Or should he shoot 3 times? Let's start getting our ring wraiths up. We're obviously not going to be in range. Oh, we need to... We've got the concealing cloaks anyway, so we're not going to be able to shoot. Oh, beautiful! I even got the 10-inch movement one. So I think at this point it's just ride. We're probably going to cop some arrows. The main thing we want to do is not lose the Witch King's horse. So we'll throw the Witch King in cover. But the rest of them, it's not going to be a big deal. Oh, you know what? We'll play smart for the wraiths. We'll hug the terrain for a turn. It's 1 less round of shots. So everyone now has an in the way. 3 times, says Lewis. Alright, we're shooting 3 times with Leggy. He's going to open fire, and he is going to get to re-roll in the ways, and hope we'll hit some horses. We've got 2 hits and a miss. We get the re-roll. It hits. Fantastic. We can't see the Witch King, so we'll just target these wraiths. We'll go for this guy on the side here. Let's see if it gets past the stonework. We have 1 getting through, 1 hitting the stone. And another one hitting the stone. There we go. Getting into cover was a good move for the ring wraiths. Let's see if it goes up or down on the horse or the rider. It goes up on the rider. That's exactly what we want for the ring wraiths. So that is defense 8, strength 3. That will be 6s by 4s. That is no wound. So Leggy's shooting is ineffectual. Ineffectual. Let's go to priority. And good have got it again, which is probably great for the ring wraiths because they can just keep positioning. So we need to get over here and set up these elven cloaks. Leggy's going to stay still. Aragorn and Gimli, they're going to get their elven cloaks. The hobbits are going to fall back here. Gimli will fall back so Leggy can shoot over his shoulder. We might even zoom in a little bit now. It's all happening already. There you go, you guys can see. We just need to surround Frodo. Just need to surround Frodo. That's it, Frodo's got to die. So the elven cloaks are going to mean that if we don't get within 6 inches, we're not going to be able to cast magic. So, first thing we're going to do is move 10 with this guy. Alright, so that's his full move there. Now what I want to do is not be in charge range of Boromir. That's the key. So Boromir is nicely in charge range there. For me to be able to see Frodo to throw a black dart at him, I'm going to have to open that model up to charge. So, I'm afraid that's what's going to have to happen, I think. Let's see what else we can do. That guy will be able to get to there, which will hit another black dart on Frodo. Ooh, that'll be just out. These Elven Cloaks are already doing the work for the Fellowship. Yes, alright. We're going to risk that. We're going to risk that. We're going to throw our first black dart at Frodo. So we're just going to do single cast dice here, guys. We've only got 7 will on each ring wraith. We need a 5. Oh, strong! We get a 6 with the first black dart on Frodo. So this is Horse Up Wraith. That's his name, Horse Up. So he's down to 6 will. Now Frodo obviously can resist with normal will, but because of his special rule, oh, the one I forgot to mention, he gets 2 extra resist dice. So I think what we'll do, we don't want these black darts. We need to keep Frodo alive. I think, how much will should we throw, guys? How much will? Frodo's got 3 in his store. I think we chuck maybe. We could try and let's go spending 1 of Frodo's will, and we'll use the 2 natural 1 as well. Oh, hang on, yeah. Doesn't he have resistant to magic? He's a hobbit. Oh, Frodo's going to be very hard to target. So resistant to magic is going to be black. Fortify Spirit is going to be white. And then we'll throw a green in as well. We'll throw a green in. We'll use 1 of Frodo's will. We do not want to take wounds in the first piece of magic from the ring race. We do not get the 6. 1, 3, 1, and a 4. Now, obviously, we could burn 2 of Frodo's might. I do not think... Well, we could burn Frodo's might, and that would block it out. Otherwise, it's just a normal black dart. It's not channeled. So we'd be taking a single strength 8 hit. Strength 9. Strength 9. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think we're going to spend the might. He's got 3, but we'll save it for now. Alright, let's see if we wound him. We've got to wound him first. This is a strength 9 or defense 6, so that is 3s. So there's only a 60% chance this goes through. And look at that, we've rolled the 1. We've rolled the 1, so Frodo takes no wounds. Alright, 1 will down. Let's move on to the next wraith. And that's what this game is going to be a lot of. A lot of weird little moves like that. So that's our full move with the wraith. What we're going to do with this guy, though, is we're absolutely going to drop back out of charge range of Boromir. Now I can still see Boromir and Aragorn. I'm within 6 of them, but because they're behind a piece of difficult terrain, they won't be able to charge me. So I can see them because they're Elven Cloaks, which means I can throw some magic at them. So let's probably. I wonder if I can really gank that actually. If I get within 6 of Frodo, that would be there. No. Not yet, not yet. We want to make sure we've got some charges. So what other spells should we go, guys? What other spells should we go? I guess the other thing we could have done is compels and tried to bring Frodo out and kill him that way. But I think we'll just throw a black dart on Boromir, maybe? Yeah, we'll throw a dart on Boromir with this guy. We've got to start chipping away those fighting wounds. And it's a 3, so no luck for him. So that's a will point off that guy. But that's all we got to do with these spells, is get them in. We'll go for another... We're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to sit out of range. I'm not going to charge with him. The Witch King of Angmar will go in. And once again, sit on that 6-inch range so that I can make the charge. But because of the terrain, Boromir won't be able to charge me. And the Witch King will throw a... I'm going to throw a Compel on... Let's have a look at the Witch King spells. So the Witch King has got Compel on a 4+. So that'd be 3 inches back. Yeah, let's go Compel with the Witch King. We'll start messing up with Boromir's charges, needing a 4. And we've cast that on a 4. Boromir's automatically got 2 will to resist. I don't think we'll waste any of Boromir's will here. We'll just go for the Fortify Spirit. And he rolls a 1 and a 2, so Boromir has been compelled. And what we're going to do, of course, is just go 1, 2, 3, bang, which pulls Boromir out of charge range of that wraith. That's a good play by the wraiths. It's sort of obvious who I'm barracking for at this point. The Witch King goes down to 19 will. So he's going to be our spell factory, the Witch King. And now the other guys are just going to do the exact same thing. We're all going to move up, but not be in range of Aragorn's charge. So the 6 wraiths are on the approach. It's Legolas' turn to shoot. He's going to open fire. He gets 3 hits, doesn't even need his rerolls. He'd be targeting the Witch King, of course. Actually, the Witch King will have an in the way, so he'll go for those wraiths over there. Up or down, we've got 2 on the wraith and 1 on the horse. Let's go on the wraith first, needing 6s by 4s, 2 3s, that's nothing. And now on the horse, a 6 on the horse. What a clutch play. Legolas has taken out a Ringwraith's horse already. That is huge. Throne Rider for the wraith. He is fine. Let's get ourselves a dismount. That is absolutely massive. Massive, massive, massive. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take him off. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to do something clever with my dismount here, guys. I'm going to switcheroo. Because what I can do is I could place the model in range of Aragorn, so the Ringwraith could make a charge next turn if we win the roll-off, because there's an inevitable heroic move happening here. But of course, yeah, I'm going to place that Wraith as he dismounts from his horse in range of Aragorn. If Aragorn takes the bait and comes forward, that's Aragorn's choice. But it gives me the initiative. So if there's no combat, it's priority time. It doesn't really matter who wins this priority. It goes to the forces of good, so obviously we've got to call a heroic move here, because this is a great chance for us to get a charge with the Fellowship pretty out of position. So, and it means we get to cast magic as we go in. So we're going to use, we use this guy's will, this guy's might rather, and he'll catch everybody, so that is the Tainted model, is going down to 1 might. And he's going to call a heroic move. Aragorn will counter-call with his free. This could be one of the biggest roll-offs of the game. And it goes to evil. Massive for the Ringwraiths. Massive for the Ringwraiths. Okay, so the Tainted has to charge first. And he actually can't... He can hit Frodo, but he'll have to engage Aragorn as well. But that's fine. So what he's going to do is move in before he hits... Frodo's... Aragorn's control zone. I'm going to drop a spell into Frodo. I think what I might do is I might actually try and compel Frodo forward, so he'd only be able to come 2 inches forward, but I'll move him out of the lines. So yeah, let's throw a compel on Frodo, and I need... I think what do the Ringwraiths cast compel on? I think it might be a 5 up for them. No, compel's a 4 up for them too. So I'm going to throw 2 dice at this compel. Yeah, we're taking a little gamble here. Oh, damn, it doesn't go off. A 3 and a 2. Okay, that's fine. That happens. Sometimes they're going to choke. So that is the Tainted down to 5 will. That's fine. In that case, we'll just continue our charge. We'll hit Aragorn and we'll wrap into Frodo as well. Yeah. So, our next move has got to be this Ringwraith in on Aragorn. Now the question is, do we start using our Nazgul Scream stuff? Because if I auto 6 that on Aragorn, you guys, yeah, okay. So Scotty Norwood says auto 6 transfix Aragorn. I think you're right, Scotty. So our fallen over Wraith, who is now on foot, is going to use his automatic... This is the new ability from the Legendary Legion, those of you who've just joined us. So that is... horse charging. So we have cast an automatic channeled transfix on Aragorn on a 6 for free. Doesn't cost us any will. Aragorn now has 2 will to resist, 2 will for free to resist, and then he's got his natural store. He doesn't have resistance to magic. So, I'm thinking Sam will be able to call a Heroic Combat KS, that's very true. Steve says he's watching while driving, please don't make me crash. The hobbits, oh right, no, they would have been out of range, because all of the throw stones is only range 6, and all of my wraiths were out of range 6 of the hobbits. Maybe Frodo could have thrown a stone actually, but that's fine. I think we're gonna burn... Look, should we burn any will? The guys in the chat who are controlling Aragorn, are we burning will to resist this channel transfix? I mean, the thing is, we might actually hurt him here, you know? Well, he's not really in any danger of getting killed, most likely. Oh, range 8. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, we'll throw some wraiths and some hobbit stones in a sec, but that won't affect Aragorn's. All right. Well, you guys will just go for the Fortify Spirit then. No one's keen to use any will with Aragorn. I think I'm gonna executive decision to go 1. Aragorn is spending 1 will. Oh, what a clutch play. Aragorn bumps it off with a 6, but it chokes his will. And it was his spent will as well, so he gets it back. What a machine. Okay, so we may have to try and blow that again, I think. Okay, let's go back to our Hobbit stones. All the Hobbits are in range of that Wraith. They're all going to throw a stone, hitting on 3s. We've got 3 hits. Are they up or down? 2 of them are down and 2 of them are up. So you're going to need, I think, 6s by 4s. That's nothing. And then 6s by 5s or 6s on the Wraith. So nothing there. So the Hobbit stones did nothing. And now the Cav are going to have to make some charges, I think. Now, I'm not actually going to be able to charge any of the Hobbits because they've got Elven Cloaks and they'll be blocked. But what I have to do is make my charges over here. So, I'm going to go... This Wraith here is going to fly up and charge around, and the Tainted Wraith is going to drop his Transfixed spell on Boromir. Man, this is tough work. Tough work for the Wraiths, hey? Such tough work. So he's going to throw his Super Transfix on Boromir and see if I can kill Legolas. So that is, the Tainted is using his thing there. So Boromir has just taken it. He's going to do the exact same thing. Spend a point of will and then 2 natural. And he fails. So he's rolled a 5 high. So I think Boromir is going to have to, spend a point of might there. So that's Boromir's first might and will down. This is going to be a very bookkeeping heavy game. Boromir is 6-1-0, so now he is 5-0-0. Alright, but once again, the spell doesn't go off, so Boromir's coming in on a counter charge, which is pretty massive. So, let's keep going. We've got this Wraith is going to make the charge on Gimli. And he is going to throw... I think I'll throw... maybe a cheap Compel. Let's go 2 dice Compel on Boromir. He's got a 5. That is cast. Boromir only has his natural resistance. And he has resisted on a 5. Jeez, the Wraith magic is just bouncing off. Bouncing off. So that was that was Kamul. So Kamul is down to 6 will because he started on 8. Having no luck at all. And now I've got 2 casters left. I think I'm not going to put the Witch King in. I'm just going to move this piece of terrain because it won't balance. That Wraith is going to go in on Aragorn, and he is not going to cast a spell. And yeah, one of the hobbits. Yeah, so this is the problem. We've got to stop Boromir because Boromir is going to be able to jump in and hurt our attack on Frodo. So I'm going to drop. I'm going to go for the channel transfix again on Boromir. We have to stop it. No, we'll just keep compelling. We got another shot. So this Wraith's going to burn 2 will on compelling Boromir as well. He gets it off on a 6. That is massive. So that is 2 will from that Wraith, and that was our horse up Wraith. So he's down to 4 will now, this guy. He's burning his will. This is hardcore bookkeeping, this game. Now, Boromir has only got his 2 will from the Fortify Spirit, or his 2 dice, and he has failed. So he is channeled and transfixed. So Boromir is not coming to save Frodo. That is massive, massive, massive. Now we have the Witch King of Angmar. Now, unfortunately, he can't get in combat this time. Oh, he can... Frodo is actually not blocked for him, and neither is Sam, actually. So Sam is not blocked by terrain, so he is going to make a charge on Sam. And then he is going to throw... what I'm gonna... okay, here's some magic for you. This is dodgy, but I'll go for it. The Witch King's got to charge on Sam because the Elven Cloak didn't block him. He's going to throw some magic before he goes in and charges, and I'm gonna throw that magic on Merry, and that is going to be. I'm going to try and compel Merry and move him 2 inches to put him here to block up that gap, so that Pippin and Merry won't be able to run in and help Frodo. We're really trying to assassinate Frodo here. Oh, sorry, Glenn says that was compel, not channeled transfix on Boromir. Yes, of course it was. We went for the compel. What am I doing? I even rolled for it. So Boromir will actually move 3 inches backwards and then suffer the effects of transfixed. A normal transfixed. Now, let's just make sure you guys can see nicely. You can. So, grab some dice. We've got, I'm going to do the same thing with the Witch King on Merry. Now, it's obviously much harder to move Merry, so the Witch King is going to burn 3 will, and I need 4s for compel. And I have got a 5. Merry has 2 dice automatically from his resistant to from his Fortify Spirit from the Gifts of Galadriel, and he's got resistant to magic. Now, how much will does Merry have? Merry has no will, so that's all he's got to resist. Let's see what he can do. He fails. He fails the resist because I cast it on a 5. So Merry is now compelled. And he will move 2 inches. All he has to do is just get in the way, because obviously Pippin isn't going to have the move to run around and save and pair off that Wraith. And also, Frodo isn't going to have the move. Sam now isn't going to be able to win the fight against the heroic combat. He's never going to kill the Witch King, but you never know. You never know. Alright, so this is... Yes, why the hell is Frodo on the end, says Liam. It was a bloody good question. Frodo should have been on the inside. Absolutely, Frodo should have been on the inside. That's probably my bad. But it might make the battle report a bit more interesting if Frodo does go down, because we'll get to see the terror mechanics. So, Evil have won the heroic move. They've moved, and now every model is engaged except for Pippin. So Pippin can make a charge here. Pippin's going to charge the Witch King. He'll have to take a courage chest for that, obviously. Oh no, they're fearless. They're all fearless. They're all fearless. Merry can't move because he's being compelled. Boromir can't move because he's being compelled. Yeah, cool. KS says, Frodo is always great about being the... Frodo is always great at being in the wrong position. Vandus Hammerhand says, I think those heroes tagging the Wraiths need to kill the Wraiths to force them to stop the courage penalty if Frodo fails. Absolutely. Kieran says, zoom in a bit more. There we go. That takes me to 35. And we'll go to there. There you go, guys. Seeing as all the action's happening there. What's Gimli doing, asks Daniel. He is in combat. So, obviously, the heroes have some options here. Some big plays have been made. Aragorn has spent his free point of might. But you can bloody believe... You can bloody believe that Aragorn's going to call a heroic combat. He's got a chance at killing 2 Wraiths. Definitely. Definitely. And then that's going to enable him to get over there and save Frodo. So I think what we do, Fellowship players, is we call a heroic combat chain. I think we call a heroic combat with Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn, and hope that some of those go off. Louis asked a great question. No. It's how. Louis' question was, does the horse kill for Legolas count towards scoring a kill? And it does not. It's how many models they have both killed. So that is not a kill. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously Sam's going to call a heroic combat for free, and then I think Aragorn, Gimli, and I guess at that point the evil player has to respond. I am going to call. Oh, see, actually, the Witch King has charged Sam, who is defending a barrier. So he has lost his cavalry bonuses, which means he can now not kill Pippin and Sam with only a single attack, because he doesn't have the Crown of Morgul. So the Witch King, there's no point in him calling a heroic combat. I'm not going to waste my second point of might with the Tainted, because I might need that to force the fight against Frodo, who isn't a slouch. We're not going to kill Aragorn. He didn't get transfixed, so I don't think Evil's going to call. I guess he could. This model could call a heroic combat just to try and force. Oh, actually, what am I talking about, guys? What am I talking about? The one ring wraith with a clear path to Frodo can call a heroic combat for free. I'm just going to swing over the desk. Let's look at the exact wording of that. Okay. Additionally, at the start of a fight phase, a single ring wraith model may declare a heroic combat without spending might. If they do so, they must move into combat with an enemy model that has the one ring. Okay, so obviously the wraith that's fighting Frodo can't call the heroic combat, because for it to go off successfully, Frodo would have already been dead, and thus that would be impossible. But one of these wraiths can call a heroic combat for free. It's pretty unlikely any of them will get the kill. They've all got full fate at this point. Perhaps this wraith up here, Legolas, is the softest. He's only got 2 fate. We could score 2 wounds and get it off. But actually, he wouldn't be able to fit through because of his cavalry base. So, the only person who can really call the heroic combat is probably these wraiths on Aragorn, which of course they're never going to kill Aragorn, but they might, so we'll go for it. We'll call a heroic combat for free with this wraith here. Now, that will make Aragorn's combat go first. Leggy has 3 fate, yeah, sorry, that's right. So, we've got a heroic combat with Sam for free, we've got a heroic combat with this wraith for free, and then maybe we just try and... Yeah, Gimli's probably got the best chance of killing him and getting over. We'll call a heroic combat with Gimli and with Legolas. I don't think Aragorn is going to be able to win that fight and then kill both of them. That's fairly unlikely. Okay, so let's see whose heroic combat goes off first. It is Evil. Alright. Now, obviously we're going to call a heroic defense with Frodo as well. Somebody wrote that, mentioned that. That's an obvious one. Sorry, I always forget to call defense at the start of the turn. So Frodo goes down to 1-3-3. He's only 3. He's only 2 might now. I thought he was 3 might. So Frodo will go down to 1-3-3. Legolas will go down to 2-3-3. 2-2-3 because he's just spent one, and Gimli will go down to 2-2-2. Yeah, right. So Leggy has 1 extra fate than Gimli. There you go. I always remember that around the wrong way. So it is Aragorn with 3 attacks and no armor, which means that the Gorn is defense 5. I think you guys shouted out to me before. Yes, defense 5. He's spent his point of might, so he's just got his might on the store. Then I've got my Wraith on the charge with 2 attacks, and my normal Wraith running in and not on the charge. Aragorn obviously has the fight value, and the Ring Wraiths can't strike. So, normal Ring Wraiths don't have strike, right? Of course they don't. Of course they don't, Lockie. No, Heroic March and Heroic Channeling. Here we go. Let's set the tone. I will set the tone with the Wraiths. All the Wraiths have started strong with double sixes. Aragorn is going to be blowing some might here, I think. No, he isn't. He rolls a big 6 and nabs that with the fight value, pushing the Wraiths back and denying their heroic combat. He gets a chance to wound now. I think, yes, don't forget the banner effect, very true. Also, his new dagger is an elven blade, says Liam. That's a very good point. Obviously, fight value is not an issue against the Wraiths, because they're all fight 5, so he doesn't need to do the roll-off. So, the option here, guys, is do we use Aragorn to slice in and take that horse out to lose the cavalry bonus? I think that might be a very serious tactic. He's strength 4, the horse's defense 4. It's probably an easier wound, so I think we'll go for horses, because once we've gotten rid of the cavalry, we'll be sweet. So that's a failed wound. That's a come on, Aragorn, come on. There we go. He gets the horse with the final roll. We'll roll Throne Rider, and that Wraith is fine. But a horse down. We'll go like that. So the Ring Wraiths have lost 2 horses. That's really, really important. Really, really important. But Aragorn and Aragorn is fine. So now we go to the next heroic combat, which will be good. And we're going to start with who's got our best chance of winning. That's who we need to start with. Let it either Gimli or Legolas. They're both fight 6. But Gimli can throw 3 attacks. So I think what we have to do is we're going to take a risk with Gimli. He's going to go two-handed, and he's going to fight against the charging Wraith, because we need to wound and kill the Wraith. So yeah, let's go to Gimli. 2 attacks each, Gimli's on the green, Gimli has the fight value and a banner. Whew, okay, the Ring Wraith has rolled 2 3s, and the Gimli has rolled 2 2s. Let's check out the banner. He's bannered up to a 4. Now, Gimli's got 2 might, and my Ring Wraith has 2 might, so there's probably no point in chasing. Unless the Ring Wraith thinks that he's gonna die here. Gimli is strength 4. And on defense 8, so that is 6s to wound, which will go down to 5s with 2 dice. So it's unlikely that he will kill the Ring Wraith with my points of fate, so I think the Ring Wraith is just going to back away. Now Gimli gets a chance to swipe once again. I think because we're called the heroic combat, this time we go for the kill here. We're not going for the horse, we're looking for 5s. Gimli gets a wound. Fantastic result. The Ring Wraith, of course, needs to throw fate. He rolls a 2. So, now we have a choice, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have to spend this Ring Wraith's 2 might. Because if we don't, and I fail the next fate roll on a 1, he will die. He will die. So yep, Scotty Norwood, he says, spend both. So that is Camul's might gone to pass that fate point. Was it Camul? Yes, that's Camul. So Camul has spent all of his might to pass his fate. So he's got 1 fate left and 6 will remaining, and we have stopped that heroic combat chain. Okay, let's do the next heroic combat. That is going to be Legolas versus Gimli. The same thing. 2 dice each. Alrighty-o. The Ring Wraiths have rolled much better here. They've got 2 6 with our Tainted Wraith model, and Legolas has rolled a 1 and a 2, but of course he's got the banner. And he's bannered up to a 4. Leggy has the fight value, and he will have 2 might remaining. So Legolas... I think Legolas is wanting to... I think Leggy needs to spend both here, because let's look at what happens. Legolas gets knocked over. He takes 4 strikes at strength 4. That means they're wounding on 4s. On a good roll, we could do 3 wounds. Potentially 4, maybe 1, but probably 2 wounds, and if bad luck holds, 3 wounds to Legolas. He's got 3 fate points. He'll probably survive. Yeah, I think... No, because we're going for heroic combats here to save Frodo, right? So this is we're putting all our eggs in the save Frodo basket. So Legolas is going to might up, grab the 6, and then he needs to wound. And we have to put these strikes on the Wraith, otherwise there was no point in doing this. So he's strength 4 on D8, so he'll need 6s. That's really unlikely odds. So leggy will go down to 0. Come on, Fellowship, you gotta roll better than that. So, guys, are we going for the Wraith or are we going for the Horse? Obviously, the Heroic Combat won't go off if we go for the Horse. Kill the Horse first and then double the wound rolls. Yes. Yes, that will work, won't it? So, yeah, let's kill the Horse. Strength 4, D4, needing a 4. Look at that, we get the 5. Horse rolled, we'll throw Do Throne Rider, and we're fine. I'll grab another model. So, he's fallen off his horse, but he isn't prone. So he doesn't take the double strikes, unfortunately, but a worthwhile tactic. And now just one shot at the Wraith himself. Legolas is going to need a 6 on this dice with no might. Oh, that was so close. It skidded on a 6 and just turned to a 5. So no wounds there, and the Wraith backs away. So we've stolen 2 horses so far, and a bunch of might and fate from Camul. So okay for the Fellowship. There's 1 heroic combat left, and it is the Witch King, who does not have his charging bonuses, versus Samwise the Brave. No, he does not go prone unless he rolls a 1. Alright, Sam has rolled a 2, the Witch King has rolled a 3. Sammy Boy's going to throw into that banner, or is he? Because Sam's got 2 might, so he could might up, but the Witch King will win that fight. Oh, also we've got Pippin's dice. What the hell am I doing? And Pippin rolls a 1. Classic Pippin. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to banner Pippin's dice. And Pippin rolls a 6. What a champion. So the Witch King is pushed back. And these little hobbits, they are a measly strength 2. Yep, they're both strength 2. Oh, Sam could have heroic struck. I always forget he has strike. Strength 2 and defense 8. I'm not sure if that's actually a scoreable wound. I'm gonna have to go to the wound chart to I think it might be 6s by 6s. Where's the wound chart? Be in the shoot phase, I think. Here we go. Strength 2 on 8. It's only 6s by 5s. 6s by 5. So Pippin and Sam. Again, the Wraith's got 3. The Wraith's got 3 fate. So yeah, they're in trouble here. So they're just going to go for the horse. They will need 5s on the horse. And the Witch King loses his horse. That is massive. He does not go flying. The Fellowship are doing an incredible job at dehorsing the Wraiths here. 4 horses are down. He's defense 6 because he's got the mithril coat, and yeah, that's pretty much all that matters. But he did call heroic defense. Wraith on the charge versus Frodo. Let's do it. So the Wraith has only got a 4. Frodo's got a 2. He's going to have to banner up. He banners to a 5. I have 1 might left on this Wraith, and he will spend it. He spends it, taking his roll to a 5, and he wins on fight value. Frodo is pushed back. Frodo is now knocked prone and takes double strikes. I'm strength 4, he's defense 6. I need 5s to wound the Ringbearer. I score only a single wound. Only a single wound. Frodo has 2 wounds. Let's just, Oh, yes, of course. Heroic defense. Heroic defense. That's no wounds. That's no wounds. Boom, 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 boom. Good call, chat. Look at that. Bounced off Frodo. So let's recap for the turn. Boromir lost some will and a might. That's about it. That's about it. Ring Wraiths. Horse dead, horse dead, horse dead, horse dead. Will dripping, no fate, and a might down, might out. The Wraiths are in so much trouble. The Wraiths are in so much trouble. Let's jump into priority here. And the good side has got it on a 5. A 5 and a 2. Oh dear. Frodo has 1 might left. Yes, yeah, Frodo called might. That's true. I think I wrote that down. I did, yeah. Frodo's just got the one left. So, we'll have to call another heroic move with the Wraiths to get the last sort of chance at we need to cast spells, so we're always going to be heroic moving. We'll call it with the Witch King, and Aragorn will call it... actually, I think what we'll do is we'll call it with Merry, using one of Boromir's Might, because Merry's nice and central. So, Merry... Merry... Yeah. So, Merry will use one of Boromir's Might. Boromir will go down to 4... and now we'll do the roll-off. Evil needs to win this for this to be an interesting battle report. They do! Thank goodness. Alright, magic. Here we go. We need to set some kills here. What can we do? What can we do? I guess... Alright, guys. Chat, I'm going to come to you. Yeah, he's within 3. So Merry is right there in the center, and that's Boromir there. Easy 3 inches. Easy 3 inches. Ring Wraiths in the chat. What do we do here? I think we're in a bit of trouble. I think we need to wipe Frodo off the board. So that we just can't get freely countercharged. So do we just throw black darts at Frodo? The problem is every time he's resisting on 3 dice. The good thing is if we ever get a successful cast on black dart, it's a 5. Yeah, this is a tough one. Otherwise, we could just ignore Frodo and try and get some kills. Like, Legolas is a prime target. I'm not particularly... Yeah, I mean, we need to kill some of their fighters while we've got horses. Yeah. Unfortunately... yeah, probably. Quite probably. Liam says the 3 hunters being cut off from the Hobbit seems like Lockie is being a little biased. It wasn't intentional, actually. But I did get a compel on someone to make that happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we're just going to go in and I think we're just going to throw black darts. The Witch King is going to throw a black dart at Frodo to start with. So he is going to go... He's going to go 3. No. So they should actually be separated because they're not in combat. Where do we want the charge bonus? Probably against Aragorn. How many screams do they have left? We have... 4 screams left, because both of them got resisted. The only member who can burn full might to wipe a wraith away in one swipe. Yeah, it's Boromir. We got to keep him away. So, and he's just going to strike up. That's his problem. So we need to just keep Boromir away. And he's also really susceptible to magic. So this wraith here is going to throw a compel at Boromir and just keep sending him away. That wraith is... Which wraith was that? Horse up was that wraith. So horse charging. So he's got 6 will left. So we'll throw 2 dice into a compel on Boromir. And we get it on double 6s. Boromir gets the natural resist, but that's it. And he fails to resist. So Boromir is compelled again. He moves another 3 inches. And is then transfixed. That's really important for the wraiths. We now need to make a charge with this wraith, because he's the one who cast it. And what he's going to do is ignore the control zone and run around, or leave Legolas's control zone, and then run around the back and charge Merry and Frodo. That worked out well for us. Was not expecting that. Now what we need to do is stop these guys from getting the charge on Frodo, so we should probably activate... Maybe Kamul just tanks it. Just charges in and tries to hold up Legolas and Gimli. Unfortunately, they're probably just opening up a thing there. So I think Kamul needs to make the charge on Legolas. And he's going to go... Let's just wail down on a transfix. Because we could kill Leggy and he's a problem. He's a problem. So we'll throw an automatic screaming transfix on Camul. Legolas only has the natural dice. Oh, he's got will, I suppose. So Leggy I think Leggy can just burn his 2 will here to stop this from happening, because he knows that it's probably him dying. He's always going to have 2 will for resists, and this is an important moment. The Wraiths are clearly setting up for a Frodo assassination. The Fellowship's got the upper hand. Let's make sure we don't lose it. A single 6 on this dice will really make Camul sad. There we go. He's got it. In fact, he even got it with one of his natural will, so that is another 6 resisted, and Legolas only loses 1 will. Camul loses his auto shriek, and Legolas goes down to 1 will. So Camul now has a choice. Does he make the charge on Leggy and risk getting sort of spliced? I think Camul is the one who is out of might, isn't he? Where's Camul? Yeah, Camul has no might, so he's no use to us in terms of heroic combats. So what he's gonna do? Guess he could risk a charge against Boromir, because Boromir won't be able to call. Let's have a look at Boromir's stats. This is such a bookkeeping game. Boromir of Gondor has 0 fate, and he'll be suffering the effects of transfixed, so he won't be able to make strikes. What I've sort of realized here is that I'd love to set up a charge on Merry with someone who has might, to set up a heroic combat into Frodo. Which means I should have moved this Wraith first, because he'll have enough room and negated that control zone. I don't actually think he'd have the move anyway. So that's 3 inches. No, he wouldn't have the move, so that's not possible, and that's okay. That's okay. So in that case, he's just going to tie up Legolas. This Wraith here, he is our Wraith with... oh man, there's so many Wraiths now, it's hard to keep track. Who was that? I don't even know. Where's the Tainted? Was that the Tainted? No, I think that must be the Tainted. It is. There are way too many... Oh, free heroic combat into Frodo. Very true. Free heroic combat into Frodo. Peter Holden, you're on it. Camul should absolutely run around there. Fantastic work. Fantastic work. So this Wraith here, that is my dear friend, the Tainted. So he just threw 2 will, and I didn't write that down. So he goes down to 3, because the Tainted was the one who pissed off Boromir. Camul just used his spell automatically, so that's fine. Now this Wraith here, that's sword, that was horse charging. So, oh no, that was horse up. So he is going to charge... He's going to charge Legolas and Gimli, probably saying sayonara, and what he's going to do before he does that is throw his auto-transfix onto Aragorn. Oh no, he's already used his auto-transfix. So in that case, he's going to throw 2 will, and try and transfix Aragorn. He gets a 3 and a 2, so that fails, and he plummets down to 2 will he's got left. Horse up, and then he's going to charge Legolas and Gimli, probably killing himself. And then I've got 3 Wraiths left, and I need to set up this kill on Frodo. So, first thing I've got to do is negate Aragorn's control zone. This guy here, his name is Horse. Cannot keep these ring wraiths in check. This guy's Horse up, so he's going to throw his transfix on Aragorn, which is this auto scream. Whee! Aragorn has... How much will has Aragorn got left? When Aragorn passed last time, he, I think he automatically got his will back. So Aragorn will do the same thing. He'll roll his 2 dice and spend 1 will, looking to resist on a 6. Aragorn, you're insane. He just resisted on a 6, getting the will back on the important dice. So he is still trapped. Still fine. And that is another one of the transfixes gone. So that's 4 transfixes gone now. The only one I've got transfix left on this model, and transfix, you know, the auto channel transfix. All of them have been resisted. It's brutal. But most importantly, I think the Witch King is going to charge, and he is going to just throw a... He's going to throw a transfix on Aragorn. Aragorn cannot keep bumping those spells off, and I'm going to drop 3 spells on it. A 3 will of the Witch King. He gets it on a 6, a 6, and a 5. That is huge from the Witch King. Big rolling. Big rolling. Aragorn now gets a chance. He's going to keep doing his same combo of using the 2 free dice and 1 from his store. And he has bombed out on rolling a 6 here. He could burn 2 might. He could burn 2 might. I think Aragorn's got to burn 2 might here. Aragorn's on full might at the moment, and we do not want to be transfixed. So, Aragorn is going to burn 2 might. And he's going to go down to 1, 3, 3. But he will not be transfixed. And then the Witch King will go in on the charge. Now, most importantly, I've set up, you know, all the negated control zones. So this Wraith right here is going to get to go in on the charge. And you know what I'm going to do? Before I do, I am going to auto-transfix Aragorn. 100%. Am I? Aragorn's going to call a heroic combat, kill that Wraith, and get in combat. Let's do it. Auto-transfix on Aragorn. Aragorn is once again... Oh, and also Aragorn lost a will because he didn't get a natural 6, so he's down to 2. Aragorn is resisting. Once again. Oh my god, he passed it again on a 6 with the free dice. Ridiculous. That is 3 times out of 4 Aragorn has resisted on a 6 with his natural dice. And that is another one of my auto transfixes down. So I have 1 auto transfix left with the Witch King. No, there's no response for the good forces. They're all pinned. Let's quickly go through the state of play. The Witch King of Angmar has charged Sam and Pippin to tie them up. Aragorn is not transfixed after bouncing off 3 spells, fighting a single Wraith. He's got 1 point of might left because his free one is gone and he burned 2, so he can call the heroic combat this turn. Gimli and Legolas are in prime position to kill that Wraith, and we've got some beautiful synergies happening back here, and Boromir's pissed off. So, the turn begins. Evil's got priority, so Frodo calls it first. And Frodo, with 2 points of might, is once again going to call a heroic defense. I'm going to call the free point of might with Camul on Merry, and he is going to call a heroic combat. But he must charge Frodo, so that's fine, he can get in there, that's no problem at all. I think Legolas and Gimli, I think one of them needs to call a heroic combat. I think Aragorn will, so Aragorn will call a combat. The Witch King, it's not possible for him to kill anyone, so same with the other Wraiths. Let's have a look at the Tainted. Or the Harrod Wraith. So the Harrod Wraith has might, so I guess what he could do is call his combat first to try and win the roll-off to stop Aragorn from getting in on him. But I don't know how that's going to work. So let's look at our heroes here. Legolas is out of might. Gimli's got full might. So Gimli will go down to 1 to call a combat. Aragorn will go down to 0 to call a combat. Sam will call a combat for free. And Camul will call a combat for free. Alright, let's see who gets the first combat. It goes to Evil. Evil having their way with the roll-offs, which is important. See, this is why I should have called a combat with... Oh no, because it would have alternated anyway. So what this means is that we get to fight with 1 combat, and we've only called a single one anyway. So Camul's combat is going off, and it's happening before anything else. So Camul, 2 attacks on the charge against Merry, single dice with a banner. Camul gets a 6 and Merry gets a 5. Other way around. Camul gets a 5 and Merry gets a 6. Are you kidding me, Meriadoc Brandybuck? What an absolute clutch. What an absolute clutch. Oh, Merry. Merry, Merry, Merry. And of course, as we all remember, because I'm sure you guys are having no trouble keeping in track who's got what, Camul does not have any might left. Which means he can't force that wound through, so Merry buffs him back, strikes at the horse, fails to kill the horse. But most importantly, that free heroic combat means nothing. Okay, so up next we're going to do Gimli and Legolas' heroic combat. Legolas is going to strike with 2 dice. And Gimli's going to strike with 3. You know what I mean. Yes, I said that right. And the Wraith is just a single dice because he hasn't charged. And these guys have a banner, so this Wraith's in trouble. They've got the 6, the Wraith only rolled a 1. So Gimli and Legolas are both strength 4, so they will need 6s by 4s, or is it straight 6s? I think they only need straight 6s. Been playing the game for 20 years, and I still look at the wound chart and don't trust myself. Yep, it's 6s. So straight 6s here will be dangerous for the Wraith. Ooh, not a single 6. And the 3 dice is Gimli, that'll be Gimli's final might point to put a wound on this Wraith. Let's have a look at this Wraith. Which Wraith is that? That is Horse Charging Wraith, so he's got 2 fate. That is, look, this is a game of go insane, so let's do it. Let's do it. Gimli's going to spend his point of might to turn that into a wound. So Gimli goes down to 0. So, I mean, we're sapping Fellowship resources here, but, you know, we're losing resources in return. And which Wraith is that? So that is Horse Charging Wraith. So he has 2 might and 2 fate. So let's throw first fate at it. He fails. I'm going to spend a point of might. I don't want this heroic combat going off. The fact that he's alive is incredible. So he goes down to 1 and 1. 1 for 1, that Wraith is now. Okay, Aragorn's heroic combat. Aragorn finding a single Wraith. Another dangerous combat here for the Ring Wraiths. And the Ring Wraith clutches it with a 6. Oh, Aragorn doesn't have any might left. This is massive, 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 massive. Aragorn backs away. Ring Wraith has got a cheeky chance for a wound here. He rolls a 2, so no wound on Aragorn, but that doesn't matter. We don't care. There is 1 heroic combat left for the turn. That is Sam on the white dice, fighting the Witch King with Pippin at his side. Sam's on the green dice, sorry. Pippin's always the white dice. And the Witch King has lost it. He's rolled a 3. The Hobbits have rolled a 4. Our banner. So the Witch King could burn 2 might to make sure he wins this fight. I don't think the Hobbits are going to kill him. No wounds from the Hobbits. All right. You'd have to strike past the barrier anyway. So now we have the normal combats. Oh, I forgot to call a heroic combat with this guy. Right in there. He's calling a heroic combat as well on Merry. That was the whole point. Oh no, he's on Frodo. He doesn't need to because Merry was against Camul. So the Harrod Wraith on the charge with the Wraith up the back, and that's the Tainted Wraith. So the Tainted Wraith has no might. We'll put him on the white dice. And the Harrod Wraith has 2 white, and Frodo has a single attack with a banner reroll. This is our chance to kill the Ringbearer. Frodo has rolled a 6. The Harrod, the Tainted, with no might, has rolled a 5. And my Wraith on the charge with 2 might has rolled a 2 high. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Aragorn had already spent his free might from calling the heroic move. Oh no, you're right actually, because didn't Merry call the heroic move using Boromir's might? Oh, sorry, that was a fault there. Merry and Pippin get re-rolls to wound. Yeah, so technically Pippin will get to re-roll against the Witch King. Doesn't make a difference. And Aragorn could have spent that might. What difference does that make? Yeah, well, seeming as that completely botched, we'll just let Aragorn have his... Oh, I suppose, yeah, it's a free might. Here, we'll just give Aragorn 1 might back to fix that up. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so Frodo's fine. Frodo wins the fight, pushes them off, and Frodo now gets to strike. He's got sting, so he'll need 5s to wound. He doesn't kill the horse. What's Frodo's special rule? Oh, it's the blinding light thing, which we haven't even been using because it's effectively the same as the cloaks. Merry re-roll on that horse. Yes, thank you. So Merry gets to re-roll on the horse, on Camul's horse, and he friggin' kills it. Down goes Camul's horse. Thank you, guys. This is why I've got you in the chat. Camul rolls a big 6. In goes Camul. Okay, we have 1 horse left. Let's evaluate that turn. Let's evaluate that turn. A lot of might was spent by the Fellowship. Legolas and Gimli both have no might left. Frodo has no might left because he heroic defensed. Boromir's down to 4. Aragorn's down to 1. And yeah, that's about it. And then on the good side, on the evil side, the Witch King is looking fine. Camul has no might and down a fate. The Tainted has no might. Down on 3 will now. Yeah, look, it's looking so bad. It's looking so bad. All right, the Ringwraiths needed a kill of any hero that turn. Sooner or later, we're gonna lose priority, and Boromir's gonna come in and just annihilate. So, let's do a roll off. It goes to the Ringwraiths. Aragorn will call the heroic move, and then I will call the heroic move with probably the Witch King. No, I think we'll save the Witch King's might where possible. Let's call it with... No, I will, because I want to keep that might spread, probably. Who's about to die? We'll just call it with the Witch King. Let's do the roll-off. Again, it's all on 50-50s here. It's terrible. Evil win again. So huge. So huge. The dice are giving evil a little bit of a chance here with the priority. So the first thing we need to do is make Boromir piss off again. So we need to cast a Compel on him. Let's have a look at Camul's stats, because Camul is nice and close. Camul's got 6, so Camul is going to throw 2 dice on Boromir's Compel. He rolls a 4 high, that's enough to get it off. Boromir has 2 dice to resist. And Boromir resists on a 6, so Boromir is not compelled, and Camul has lost 2 dice. The problem is, this isn't really how you should be playing with this list. You should be throwing 1-drop spells, but because of how dire the situation is, because of the heroes I'm fighting, I'm having to try and force things through. Anyway, Camul's got to act now. So I think Camul just has to go in on... Yeah, he'll have to hit Merry. Where's my phone vibrating? Oh, camera went down. Thank you, Ned. Ned, you're the best. You're the best so much. I love you. Ah, you guys rule. Yeah, I'm like half awake. I'm not checking that camera. You guys are the best. What do I do with that? All right. There we go. Where were we? Thanks, Ned. Absolute legend. Everyone, big thumbs up to Ned. Darkness has swept Middle Earth. I love it. I love it. Thank you, dudes. Oh, this is... I want the Ringwraiths to have a chance here, but I just can't see it. We've blown... What do we do with Camul? I'm gonna come over there. Gonna come over there. Okay. So Camul is here. Am I blocking the camera for you guys? No, it should be alright. So Camul is here. He's failed this on Boromir. I guess the other thing he could do is just suicide himself into Boromir. But I think we need control in this fight. So I think he's going to go to Legolas. I'm going to throw a 2-dice compel on Boromir with this Wraith. I'm burning resources hard here. Well, I'm going to be out of magic soon. And I've cast it again on a 4. Boromir gets his resist. And Boromir resists on a 4. That's huge. I can't do anything about that. No, that's more will gone, and Boromir still in the fight. Cannot let Boromir get over here with his might points. So who was that? That was the Wraith that ran all the way up around the back. So that was... If that's Camul... Oh, so that was the Tainted. Yes. Oh shit, he's only got 1 will left. He's now magicless. Alright, so he is going to go in and charge... Pippin. I think he's the one with might, right? No, he's out of might. But he could call the free. He could call the free. Alright, the Witch King is going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw 3 will at Boromir. Alright, got Boromir on the 6. Boromir's got 2 resists. We got him. We got him. Okay. So Boromir is compelled again. Eventually, Boromir is just going to come screaming in. Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't Boromir just might it? Why didn't he do that last time? So Boromir can just use some might. Oh, I think last time was because it was too low. I got a 6 and he rolled 1s and 2s. Even so, he probably could have just mighted. Because you're biased, says Leo. No, it's because I'm tired, I think. Okay. In that case, it was probably foolish. This is the problem with Boromir and his excellent might pool. So the Witch King then needs to make some choices. I think, again, he's just going to go into Pippin and Sam. I've got 3 wraiths left. Obviously, one's got to go to Aragorn. Aragorn is going to be tagged by that wraith, and that wraith, and then they'll all throw their spells. It doesn't really matter the outcome of the spells, but they're all going to go off. So this wraith here that charged Gimli, he has 4 will left. He is just going to throw... I'm just going to throw a Transfix on Gimli. I guess I could throw a Transfix on Boromir. Why not? Transfix on Boromir. It fails on a 1. He goes down to 3. Where's Boromir? No. That's I need the Wraith. He goes down to 3. This Wraith here is going to charge Aragorn. He's going to throw... Has he got any Screams left? No, who's got their Screams left? Just the Witch King. I'm going to throw a Transfix on Aragorn with 2. Gets it on a 5. Aragorn's got the 2 natural, and he has, I think, still 2 will left. Yeah, Aragorn's got 2 will left, so we'll throw in 1 as well, chasing 5s. And he gets it on the 6 and keeps his will back. 4th time this game. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. The Wraith, he goes down. Well, I used 2 dice for him, didn't I? So I'm running out of magic, frankly. And then the last one to go in will be this gentleman here. And he's in on Frodo. I've got to stop heroic combats. So he's going to throw another compel on Aragorn. And what's his sort of situation? He has got... This is my last horseman. I need to keep him alive. So that's the Tainted. Is that the Tainted? No. That's Harrod's. He's... Oh, he hasn't cast any spells. Why have I been not casting spells with him? How is he on 7 will? Huh. Interesting. If I cast spells with him? I think I might not have, because I've thrown his Transfix out, and then I think I didn't cast a spell last time. I might have forgot. Anyway, let's go 2 will on Aragorn. Yeah, look, the problem is if he's coming for me. Look, who's more likely to win their heroic combat? Aragorn or Boromir? Aragorn's got 1 might. He's spent his free. Boromir is coming for me. Nah. I've still got... has the Witch King... Have I... Yeah, I cast with the Witch King already. Boromir's down to 3 might now, so it is easier to try and get... Yeah, no, I just got to go on Aragorn. Just got to go on Aragorn. I've got it on double 5s. Aragorn is going to do his tried and true tactic, and he's going to fail his resist. Fantastic. Aragorn is transfixed and can't do anything about it. So that is 2 will gone from the Harrod Wraith. He's down to 5, and he makes the charge. Alright, Good gets to move now, and look at that, Boromir has a charge. Finally, Boromir's in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Boromir is in the game. So Boromir's obviously going to jump into this guy. And now it's combat phase. So, Sam gets to call a heroic combat for free, and one of my wraiths gets to call a heroic combat for free. The only wraith it can really be... Oh, boys. Boys and girls, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to call a heroic combat with this ring wraith. This ring wraith here. He gets to call for free, because he's eligible. Obviously, Boromir's going to call a heroic combat, and Aragorn's going to call a heroic combat. So Aragorn's final point of might is gone. Aragorn's final point of might is gone, and Boromir goes down to 2. Gimli and Legolas are out of might. So, let me explain to you what's happening here. Sam's got a heroic combat. Boromir's got a heroic combat. The ring wraith there has a heroic combat, and Aragorn has a heroic combat. If the ring wraiths win the roll-off, the ring wraith's heroic combat will go first. That means that his heroic combat activates. So whether he survives or not, Boromir's combat is gone. So even if he gets himself killed, Boromir will not get to charge again because it's not his heroic combat. And by the time Boromir's heroic combat comes around and activates, he'll no longer be in combat. So if the ring wraiths win this roll-off, which will be the 4th win for them in a row, they can negate Boromir's heroic combat. Now the other option, I could also just call a heroic combat with the Harrod model, because he's got might, and try and get Frodo first. That would be 4 attacks on the charge. Frodo hasn't been able to call a heroic combat, a heroic defense this turn. So, Sam's obviously calling a combat. Richard says, why would Boromir ever call it then? Sam always calls his first since it's free. So because what you would do is if the good player won the roll-off, you would activate Boromir first. Because then Boromir wins and gets to go in and help Frodo. So that's why Boromir would call one. But if he doesn't go first, and the ring wraith player chooses this ring wraith, his will get negated. So Evander says, I would never call a heroic combat with Boromir and 3 might. He needs 6s to wound the wraith, more chances to use the might and burn the might than lucky 6 and move up. So he's strength 4 and d8, so he will need 6s. He's got 3 might left. 3 attacks though, and he's got Merry in the fight as well, which means that wraith is trapped, because he can't back out. Oh, actually, he might not be trapped. Oh yeah, he isn't trapped. So maybe don't call with Boromir. I would go for the straight kill with Boromir. Is that are you saying that you're calling the heroic strength then, Vandus? Because you could go that option as well. Liam says, Hamdizzle. There is a link to the Legion. There is no link to the Legion rules. No, they're not publicly available yet. So I just read them out at the start of the stream. But most of this stuff we're doing at the moment isn't the Legion rules.
These two legions are very bookkeepy, very much indeed, which is why I sort of play them against each other, because it's sort of like a showcase of that style of army. So Vandus, yeah, are you thinking that you go for heroic strength with Boromir, and go for the and go for the full-on mince of that wraith? Aragorn's got the heroic combat, 3 dice, strength 4 again. He's trying to get those lucky 6s. That wraith with Boromir has... The wraith fighting Boromir is that Camul now? No, Camul went over there. So that wraith is the Tainted. He's got full fate. He does have full fate. Aragorn has no might. No, because he'd have to spend his might to get the heroic. Okay, so maybe let's not call a heroic combat with Boromir then. We'll go for the straight kills. The thing is though... Oh yeah, of course. Thank you, Glenn. Aragorn's transfixed. That's the whole thing. Is that got off? Look, basically what you're saying is, if you don't call heroic combat with Boromir, Frodo's guaranteed to die. If you don't call a heroic combat with Boromir, Frodo's guaranteed to die. Unless he rolls a 6 again like last time. But, you know, if he loses the fight, it's probably going to happen. 4 dice needing 5s. Yeah, it's gonna be messy. How many mites Frodo got? Frodo is out. I have no idea why Bozza has that dice next to him. Thank you. Yeah, Frodo has no might because he called 2 heroic defenses. So he ended up taking no wounds after that first heroic defense. So I think then it's pretty simple. We'll go this wraith. So he's never going to get the heroic combat then. So what we'll actually do, none of the wraiths are. The free heroic combat is actually pointless this turn because none of them are able to kill their targets. So we'll just call the free heroic combat with like the Witch King for the sake of it. Yeah, we'll call the free heroic combat with the Witch King to try and deny Sam's heroic combat. And then we'll that's probably the only combats we'll call. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Frodo has 0 might. Yeah, he's already defensed twice. Okay, so let's roll off to see who gets the heroic combat. The Witch King or Sam. It goes to the Witch King, which means that regardless of this outcome, Sam's heroic combat won't go off. The Witch King has 2 attacks. Sam and Pippin have an attack each. And Sammy Boy's got it. The Witch King, once again, ain't gonna bother burning might. They need 6s by 5s. Ooh, Pippin's got a 6 on a 5. He'll get a wound on the Witch King. Oh, Pippin, you cheeky bugger. Pippin, you cheeky bugger. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, strength 2. Strength 2 is 6s by 5s. Pippin. Amazing. Let's go for the first fate point for the Witch King. He is passed. So the Witch King is down a fate, a cheeky chip from Peregrine Took. Let us never, ever pay him out again. That's all the heroics though. Of course, Sam's doesn't work. And now we just go to normal priority. Let's save the interesting one till last. So we've got Legolas, 2 attacks, fighting 1 ring wraith. Leggy has the fight value, no might in the fight. And it is a clutch from Legolas. 5s, he's strength 4, he needs 6s to wound. He gets double 5s with no might. Boy, does that hurt. We have to remember the good side has banners as well. I think Gimli has got a 2-hand to try and get that wounding bonus, and he's fighting a wraith with 1 attack. Gimli gets the 6, the wraith gets 1. Gimli now only needs 5s to wound, and he gets a 4 and a 2 with no wound bonus. Ooh, brutal, brutal, brutal. All failing to wound. The Witch King's hanging around. Aragorn is transfixed, so I think normal transfix now is still 3 attacks, but he won't strike blows. So he wins the fight, but he just, the Witch King just backs away. Alright, Boromir, on the charge. 3 dice. Merry, 1 dice. And the Witch King, and the Ringwraith, which is the Tainted, a single dice. Oh, wow! Look at the clutch! The Tainted rolls a 6, Boromir rolls a 3 high. Boromir could sink all his might points, but obviously he never would. So they will back away, and the Tainted is absolutely going to strike at Merry. Strength 4, I believe Merry's only defense 4. I think that's a wound. He doesn't have his shield. That is a wound. He's defense 3. Merry has a fate point and no might. Oop, off the table. Blood has been drawn. What are we in? Turn 5, an hour and a half of gameplay. An hour of oh, banner first? Banner first. Thank you, Louis. If they do not banner up higher than a... What was it, a 5? No, it was a 6. Okay, so they've got to banner up to a 6. They've got to banner up to a 6 to clutch the fight. They do... Oh, there you go. So Boromir banners up to a 5 and spends a point of might to win the fight and save Merry. Geez, this new Fellowship banner is amazing. So that's one of the new rules, guys, for those who just joined us. Merry would have died there, but because Boromir was in 3 inches of another member, he counts as being in range of a banner, so he rerolled one of his low dice, got it to a 5, turned it to a 6, and then wins the fight on fight value. In that case, we get to win the Ring Wraith. So, Boromir's got 3 strikes, Merry's got 1 strike. They're looking for 6s to start off with. Oh, wow, 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 wow. The first 6 of Boromir's gets through. We'll deal with that one first. He rolls a 6 and a 5. That is a wound. Let's take the fate point. It is passed. How lucky was that? The Tainted has 1 fate left. Boromir has rolled 2 5s and has 2 might left. Merry does have his reroll from his Daggers of the Noldorin. It fails to wound. That's another new special rule from the Legion. I'm not trapped, Ned. I wasn't. I misread it initially, so that Wraith wasn't trapped. Yes. Should Boromir burn the might to get a chance? I mean, basically what he's trying to do here is get a 50-50 shot of making the wound and then a 50-50 shot of passing it. So each might point he spends is a 25% chance of killing the Wraith. Alright, Louis calling it. We're going to spend the first point of might. That turns into a 6. Let's see if we roll a 4. We don't. We roll a 1. Bearing in mind that he only needs to roll a 3 on the second roll, because might points spent carry over multiple rolls. Liam says, oof. Yeah, strength 4 on D8 is a 6. Oh, what are you talking about? Yes, it is, of course. They only need to roll straight 6s. In that case, that's a wound. That's a wound. Spends the might, that's a wound, so the Ringwraith has to make another fate. So let's roll the Ringwraith's fate. He rolls a 2. Boom, he's gone. Good call, Louis. So that is... Which Wraith is that? That was the Tainted. He fails. He's got no might. The first Wraith is off the board. What a swing. What a swing. From Merry dying to a Ringwraith dying. Ooh, crunch, crunch, crunch. Alright, nice work, Boromir. We knew... I mean, there's a reason the Ringwraiths were keeping him at distance. But now we have 1 fight left in the turn. The Harrod Wraith on the charge versus Frodo. Let's see what the Harrod Wraith can do. He rolls a 3 high. Are you kidding me? Far out, man. Alright, Frodo's got 1 dice roll and a banner. He rolls a 1. It all comes down to the new banner reroll special rule. And he rolls a 6. I am literally about to flip the fucking table. Can the dice just give the Ringwraiths a chance at making this interesting? This is nuts. I mean, they've won every good roll off for priority. That's the only thing that's gone their way. Frodo bounces off. The Ringwraith rolled a 4 high. I don't know how much might this Wraith has left. He's got 2. He's got 2. Oh, the bias is huge. The bias is huge. I want the Wraith to do some damage. I love myself some Ringwraiths. Oh. So, was it the Ringwraith here could burn? Did he roll a 4? I'm pretty sure he rolled a 4. I cleared the dice out of frustration before I should have. So a 4 he could burn the 2 might and win the fight on fight value and give us a chance at killing Frodo. He would need 5s to wound on 4 dice. Oh, he rolled a 3, says Liam. Okay, so I cannot do that. Well, in that case, Frodo wins the fight and gets a chance to wound his horse. He doesn't wound the horse. There is still 1 Wraith model left on the board. Alright, let's jump into priority for turn number 6. It is a tie, and it swings to the good side. Evil are going to have to call another heroic move, because they want to cast some magic. It'll have to be probably the Witch King. Who have I got might left with? I've got might left with the Harrod Wraith and the Witch King. We'll call it with the Harrod Wraith, actually. Oh, I've got heaps of might left. What am I talking about? Horse Charging Wraith has might, and Horse Up. Okay, so that I'll call it with this one here, because he's got might. So let's do the roll off. And there we go. It swings to good. Oh, I didn't decide who was calling it from the good side. I presume Aragorn. Aragorn will call his free. So Aragorn needs to charge first. Aragorn, you can bloody better believe, is charging the Witch King. Legolas will charge this Wraith. Gimli will charge this Wraith and throw an axe on the way in. Actually, Gimli should charge the Cav Wraith and throw an axe, because it'll be easier to kill the horse. He hits. Does it go up or down? It goes down. On a 5, the horse dies. Look at that, I'm a pro. Did you see those tactics? That's why you throw at mounted models with throwing weapons. Horse gets flipped, but the Wraith is okay. Alright, most importantly though, he's not able to call heroic actions this turn. Because he didn't roll a 6. Gimli makes the charge. Merry will bravely charge this model. Boromir will charge this Wraith. Frodo will just probably piss off and put the ring on. And Sam and Pippin will all charge that model. Oh, actually, you know what we'll do is we'll throw Frodo in combat, actually, to set up a heroic combat with Sam. Okay, geez, it's a bit easier when you don't get priority. When you don't have to cast magic. That was a quicker turn. Okay, so combat phase. Sam is going to call a heroic combat for free. This Wraith here is going to call a heroic combat for free. But I think that's it. I think that's all that's going to happen. So let's do the heroic combat roll-offs. It goes to Evil. It goes to Evil. So I've got Pippin fighting a single Wraith. Pippin has a banner. Wraith is in the lead on a 3. And Pippin gets a 5. This Wraith only has 1 might point because he called the heroic move. So he loses. Can Merry hurt him? No, he cannot. But importantly, the heroic combat is denied and he can't charge off to Frodo. Alright, Sam's heroic combat. Sam has 1 dice, Pippin has 1 dice, and Gimli will go 2-handed, so he has 2 dice. They get a 6 with Pippin's dice, which means the Ringwraith can't win because of Gimli's fight value. So they will need 5s on the black dice and 6s by 5s on the green and white. And they get a 6 on the green. And those dice are Gimli's. That's not enough, and he's got no might. Oh, but he's trapped, so we'll save that in a sec. Let's see if the 6 goes to a 5. It doesn't. And re-rolling. Oh, wow. Jeez, the Wraith survived. Defense 8 is tough. Defense 8 is tough. I really thought that was a dead Wraith then. Alright, Aragorn versus the Witch King. The Gorn has 3 attacks. And Aragorn the Wraith has a single attack. Oh, Merry's reroll. Thank you, I keep forgetting that. The Witch King rolls a 2. And Aragorn will need 6s. He rolls a 3 and 2 1s. Excellent work, Witch King. So I will do Merry's reroll from the turn before. He gets a 5, it's not enough. And there is Legolas versus 1 Wraith. Ooh, the Wraith clutches it here. Doesn't get a wound. And then Boromir and Frodo fighting a single wraith. Boromir wins it on fight value. Boromir gets a wound. That's Camul. Camul will spend his fate. He passes. And that is Camul's only fate, so Boromir will spend a might point to turn that into a second wound and remove Camul from the board. 2 wraiths down. 2 wraiths down and not a single Fellowship member has been killed. Oh, Legolas. Leggy's banner. Fuck's sake, these banners, I can never remember them. Not enough. So that is Leggy backed away. Alright, that is every fight. Not much happened that turn, apart from a whole wraith being taken off the board and a horse. The ring wraiths win it. Heroic moves once again. Aragorn versus the Witch King. The Witch King goes down to 1 might. Oh, you know what? Screw it. We'll save the Witch King. Let's go. Let's use. We're gonna use this guy's might to put him down on 1. I'm keeping my might nice and spread. Is that wraith dead? No, he's good. He's on 2. That wraith. That will be his final point, actually. So he's got no might, he's got 1 might, he's got 2 might, and he's got 2 might. Alright. Roll off. It goes to good. No magic yet again. And they're all fearless, so they're just making charges. Making charges. Merry's going to be brave. We'll try and at least, yeah, set up a heroic combat here. Alright, let's call heroic combats. This ring wraith will call a heroic combat for free. Boromir will call a heroic combat. Takes him down to 1. And Sam will call 1 for free. Yeah, so this is very true. To get the double buff of the courage, yeah, this is not so good. Okay, let's do priority. Not priority. Let's do the heroic combat roll off. Whose goes first? This model here or Sam's? It goes to the forces of good, so they'll do Sam's combat first. That's 1 wraith versus Gimli 2-handing Sam and Merry. Let's do the wraith. The wraith rolled a 1, so he automatically loses. They get 6s. Alright, so, Gimli's dice are the greens. They need 5s. That is 1 wound from the wraith and 1 6 from the hobbits. Let's see if that turns into a 5. It doesn't. It's Pippin, so he's got rerolls. It does. 2 wounds on the wraith. And then we'll roll this whole set again. No more wounds from Gimli, but Pippin gets another potential wound, needing a 5, with a reroll. Oh, actually, aren't they? Is Pippin strength 3 or strength 2? Pippin is strength 2, so I believe that will be 6s by 5s. Yeah, 6s by 5, so with Pippin's reroll, looking for a 5. Oh, so close. Okay, so Pippin scored a wound, and Gimli scored a wound. So that is on the Harrod Wraith. So he must pass both of these to survive. He clutches it. Nice work, Ring Wraith. There you go. A little luck for the race there, denying that heroic combat and keeping them alive 1 more turn. Okay. This heroic combat now, with the Wraith versus Merry. 1 dice each, Merry has the banner. Merry clutches it on a 6. He needs a 6 to wound, but he gets a 5, so he's got rerolls from the Nolder and Daggers, and he gets another 5. Not enough, the Wraith survives. Alright, Boromir's heroic combat. We've got Boromir, Legolas, and Frodo. They roll a 6, they win automatically. This Wraith is trapped. Boromir needs straight 6s, he gets 1. That's 1 wound. Oh, Legolas needs straight 6s as well, actually. That is 2 wounds from Boromir. And I believe that Wraith doesn't have enough fate. He has a single fate. So that is that Wraith wiped off the board.
This is all collapsing. This is... Pippin doesn't have any might, says Vandus. He could have used Boromir's, I guess, but that's fine. Okay, that's another race dead. That race done. Alright, Aragorn versus the Witch King. I think it's basically all over now. The Witch King and Aragorn... Oh, Aragorn wins on fight value. Well, the Witch King probably should have struck, but there's just no point. Oh, what am I doing? Aragorn wins, not the Witch King. Needing 6s. He gets a 2 and a 1 and a 4. The Witch King survives. Alright, that's the end of the turn. 2 wraiths died, I think, right? Oh no, 1 wraith died. 1 wraith almost died. So it's just a drip feed here. Yeah, Sam hasn't used any of his might. Priority goes to the ring wraiths. The Witch King. I'll call a heroic move with Umbar, and Aragorn will obviously call it. And the wraiths get it. Alright, this is our last chance at getting some magic off. Let's have a look at this. This is probably our last turn. I'm going to blow the Witch King's automatic thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to Black Dart the shit out of Frodo. And hopefully kill him, which means that maybe my Terror will help or something. So, this Wraith right here, let's find out how many will he's on. Oh, actually, the Witch King has to move first. So the Witch King is going to cast his Auto 6 on Aragorn. Yeah, let's cast that on Aragorn. So Aragorn's got his resisting powers once again, using 1 natural will. He resists, but not with the natural will, so he does lose a will this turn. And that is Aragorn down to 1 natural will. He resists, which means the Witch King will just have to charge Aragorn, unfortunately. Alright, the other 2 wraiths are going to just throw black darts at Frodo. Maybe I should have just thrown black darts anyway, actually. Let's have a look at the... So who's died? The Harrod Wraith is up, Camul is gone, Horse Charging is gone. Okay, so this guy only has 2 will, so he's going to throw a 1 will black dart at Frodo. He fails. And then he'll just charge Merry, I guess. I tell you what, he'll ignore that. He'll charge Pippin. Try and block up the Witch King, get some sort of positioning. And the Umbar Wraith has got 5. He is going to cast a 3 dice channeled black dart at Frodo. He rolls 2 2s and a 1. Brilliant. Brilliant. Which model was that? Down to 2. He's got 2 will left. So that fails, and then he's just going to charge Frodo, because, like, let's charge Frodo. Alright, the Ring Wraith, the rest of them will respond. Obviously, they're all just going to jump in and gang up. We'll chuck a couple of dice over there, and then Sam is just going to... he'll just join his fellow Hobbit friends. Won't have enough move to get the trap. Okay. Priority, not priority, heroic combats. My wraiths can call one, but not really. Because there's no physical way that they could actually charge. So, I'd have to look into the wording of that, but I'm just not going to call it. Sam will call one for free, but we probably won't use it. Boromir will call one. Yeah, Boromir will use his last point of might. So now, everyone is out of might except for Aragorn and the Witch King. That's easy to remember. And the Harrod Wraith, actually. There's 3 might left on the board. This is insane. Yeah, it's just nuts. Okay, so let's do our first heroic combat. We're going to do Boromir's first. So Boromir has got 3 attacks. He's fighting with Legolas, who has 2 attacks. He's fighting with Gimli, who will also use 2 attacks, and then Frodo as well, but we're not going to need that dice. They get the 6. Boromir gets double 6s, so they beat the Wraith. And those 4 are all looking for natural 6s, except for the black dice, which are looking for 5s. So there's a wound from Gimli. There's a wound from Boromir. That's 2 wounds already.
And there is no more wounds, actually. So only the 2 wounds. Now, let's have a look at this Wraith's profile. And he has 2 fate points left. No, that's that Wraith. Which Wraith is that? Oh no, he's schooled. He's got no fate. He's out of there. Boop. Okay, so their heroic combat goes off. All that really matters is that we left enough room for Boromir to jump in there. Oh, Legolas can actually jump around the back. So they all now get to fight again. We're doing a heroic combat waterfall here. So we've got... Here what we're going to do, guys. We're going to kill 3 Wraiths in this turn. 3 Wraiths in this turn. Boromir. Legolas. Sam. And we'll ignore Merry and Pippin. Sam's only got 1 attack. What am I doing? They get the 6. They get the 6, so they automatically win. They're chasing 6s on the green and black dice. They get 2 6s. And Sam gets a 6. And then he gets a 5. That is 3 wounds. Rolling the second set. That is another 2 wounds. That's 5 wounds. Sam's going to burn both his might to make that a... No, we don't need to. And then Merry and Pippin have their double strikes. Let's see how many wounds we do. They get all rerolls. Cool, so we did 5 wounds. That's well enough to take that guy off the board. And now the 3 hobbits will get to charge again. And they will leap around and trap the Witch King. And now they all get to fight one last time. We've got the Aragorn. He rolls 3 dice. He gets a 5. And then the 3 hobbits. Sam is on the green. They get the 6s, which automatically wins them the fight. Aragorn has got his 6 strikes from trapped. He's looking for natural 6s. He rolls a 5 and a 6. He's out. Oh no, he's got might, so he could make that a wound. So that's 2 wounds on the Witch King. And now we have Merry and Pippin. Their first set fails, but they've got their rerolls. They get 3 6s, needing 5s with their reroll. Fails on the first set with the reroll. Come on, guys. Another 2 wounds. 2 wounds from Aragorn, 2 wounds from Merry and Pippin, and now Sam's 2 attacks. He rolls 5s and a 4. He'll put a point of might on that to make that a 6. And then doesn't get through on the second one. So that is 2 wounds from Merry and Pippin, 2 wounds from Aragorn. The Witch King has 2 fate points. He passes one of them. He passes the second one, and then he takes 2 wounds and is removed from the board. 3 dead wraiths in 1 turn. That was absolutely nuts. That was absolutely nuts. I'm exhausted. So that might have been the hardest matchup for me to keep track of accurately live on stream. So I do apologize if I made any mistakes with Might, Will, or Fate, or just in general. It was definitely not disingenuous. Yeah, let's put Lockie's face on the camera. 1 second. Here we go. I'm not going to bother going back to the hold screen. I'll just adjust so you guys can see me. Excuse the nausea for a moment. Would you like to see my face and not my chest? There we go. Take that down a bit so it's not as loud now I'm right next to the mic. So that was insane. That was absolutely mental. Let's have a little think about thoughts on the Legion. I'll get my phone. My laptop just died, so I've lost the chat. Oh, there we go. I can see the chat. Come over here. Someone said calendar needs changing. Yeah, indeed. So, that was nuts. That was huge. The new Fellowship Legion is pretty insane. I didn't play them optimally at all. The new banner... Can't stop looking at that bloody screen. The new banner is insane. The banner rule's crazy. We didn't use Sam's auto jump rule. We didn't use Boromir's woodland terrain. Aragorn's Uruk-Bane didn't come into play. Legolas didn't get much chance to shoot. I didn't even use Boromir's... I didn't even use Gimli's banner rule. So the main rule we saw the most was we didn't use Frodo's blinding light. I barely tested any of the new Legion abilities, except the banner, the Fortify Spirit, and Merry and Pippin's wounding rolls. So that was huge. Honestly, all the other little abilities are nice. They're cool. But it's the banner and the Fortify Spirit. That's massive. Absolutely massive. Yeah, Hobbits reroll wound matters, says Vandus. Definitely, definitely. Top Table Gaming says you don't look tired at all. I hope you didn't crash while driving, Steve. Let's talk about the Wraiths. It's a tough matchup for them. It's such a tough matchup. The list probably wasn't optimized. I probably should have run 7 Wraiths instead of 6 and having the Witch King at full spec. I sort of knew that too. It's just that I didn't have another Wraith model and I wanted to look nice on the camera. So, well, if say we drop the Wraiths full will, the Witch King, sorry. So he goes down to 10. That gives us 50 points. We need to find 65 points to buy one more Wraith. So we could just drop the extra fate point off Kamul and 2 fate points off someone, and that gives us a whole nother Wraith. The thing that we didn't really... The channel transfixes were really cool, but they were useless in this matchup because the Fellowship just buffed them off. The Terror did nothing because Fellowship was fearless the whole time because we couldn't kill Frodo. What should we have done differently? Honestly, maybe just sat back at 10 inches away and tried to Black Dart Frodo before we went in on the charge. That was nuts. Yeah, James says, Fearless Fellowship with Fortify Spirit destroys Wraiths in this setup. I have to say, though, it's like the worst matchup in the world. They sort of put up a fight. I was able to keep Boromir away. Like, I kind of felt like I got a hint of the control that they could execute, and I think that's the biggest thing for both of these legions, is that they're going to have really positive and really negative matchups. The Ringwraith army could seriously annihilate some armies, because what you have to think about is, if I've got 9 Wraiths on the table, or 8 Wraiths on the table, which I have at 750 points that I'm considering running for an event, and I'm just running in, and I'm just going Drain Courage 2+, Drain Courage 2+, Drain Courage 2+, on all their big heroes, all of a sudden, with the effective buff, the heroes are Courage 1, they can't charge. The troops are Courage 1 because neg 3 or neg 2 Courage on most troops is Courage 1 or 2. And so you're not getting hardcore countercharge. So I think it's got potential. When I looked at it on paper, I was like, that looks really fun, and I'm really keen to try it. But I genuinely think that for it to be competitive, all the Wraiths probably should have got pushed to 2 attacks. Because as soon as they're off their horse, or as soon as they don't have the charge, they die. They've got 1 attack. So, I don't know. I'm keen to try it out more, and give it a good test before I decide that. Because, you know, this is... Well, I'm judging it on its worst possible matchup. Maybe just them being mounted with the 1 attack is enough. But, you know, like, for instance, the Rangers of the North, right? They get pushed up to 2 attacks. On foot. Which I think is like a cool way of making them viable. They could have done something similar here, but it's probably fine. It probably doesn't need it. I've played 1 game against it. It's probably, apart from maybe like some form of White Council list, this is probably the worst matchup. The one thing that this list didn't have banishment, right? Fighting a good shield wall with an awesome, like Gandalf with banishment might be tough as well. But like I said, this list is going to have awesome and terrible matchups, just like the Fellowship did. These were great. This was a very swingy favored matchup. I didn't read the Fellowship list, the Breaking the Fellowship. I read it live on camera for the first time as I looked through it, so I didn't know it had Fortify Spirit. Or I probably wouldn't have chosen this matchup. But I wanted to do a bit of live reactions on camera, but I just couldn't resist looking at the ring race. Anyway, I am going to come over here to the chat and see what you guys reckon. I don't know how I'm going to do that and stay on camera. See if I can read it from here in my glasses. Race could really mess with a non-Royal Guard Rohan. Yeah, that would be tough. That would be really good for the race.
More might and less fate. I took full might, so yeah, I took absolutely full might. But that is why I'd squeeze in the extra wraith, is to get extra might. Liam says he's absolutely exhausted. Fiefdoms with Angbor and Dunhir could hurt the wraiths, says Ned. Yeah, definitely. Seeing how this stands up against one of the toughest matchups is a great way to review them, I think. Yeah, that's true. They, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I could have done differently except for maybe annihilating Frodo. And that's why I tried to go in on him. But it was... Yeah, I don't really know what I could have done differently. Anyway, what's the time? Oh my god, it's 2:20. I need to go to bed. But that was good fun. So, this stream, or this little stream series, is the first in my kind of delving into Quest for the Ringbearer, which comes out next Saturday. It went on pre-order today. If you guys are keen, there's 6, I think, amazing Legendary Legions. There's a whole bunch of narrative scenarios, there's some new profiles, it's a really cool supplement, and over the next week I'm going to be finding time to stream it whenever I can, and I'll probably try and make a dedicated review video depending on when my physical copy from Games Workshop shows up. And I'll try and get that all out before the release day so that you guys can get a bit of a glimpse into how it's going to operate. We had a ridiculous turnout on the stream tonight. It was awesome. There was like 170 people watching concurrently at one point, which is huge for my streams. I'm very excited to see how many people in total have tuned in. That will be very cool. But yeah, yeah, so... yeah, Camille says, why not just throw all black darts at Frodo? Yeah, potentially. The thing with Frodo is he's so tough to get through. He's got Fortify Spirit and Resistant to Magic plus 3 will. It's really hard to hit him with magic. Yeah, plus he's got 1 might as well, I suppose. But yeah, it's going to be nuts. I cannot wait to check out the other legions and have a look at them. I haven't even looked at them yet. So that will be very cool indeed. I might try and do some painting tutorials. I definitely want to do a couple of scenarios as live battle reports. I might try and rope in Ryan to come on down and do a little scenario, maybe like some Osgiliath action, or maybe like wargs attacking the Fellowship or something really fun for the stream. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for tuning in. If you've got any thoughts, just drop them in the comments section after this video goes live in about a second when I click end. And I will see you next time, right here on Zorpazorp. Cheers, guys. And now I gotta go press the button.